It's homecoming here at Delaware Stadium in a matchup between two teams that both reached the FCS National Semifinals only 5 months ago. Today in Newark, the 23rd ranked Blue Hens will look to get back on track against powerhouse and 7th ranked team in the country, James Madison. Hello everyone, I'm Scott Klatskin here above the Whitney Athletic Center with Bill Harmon on your home for Delaware football, 94.7 WDST-FM and iHeartRadio. This afternoon, the 3-3 Blue Hens host the 5-1 Dukes. And Bill, UD has dropped each of their last 2 games on the road, but will get the opportunity for redemption in a big way in front of a homecoming crowd this afternoon.
Well, what a great challenge here against JMU. A terrific opponent who's playing well and obviously an arch rival. What Delaware's going to have to do is minimize their mistakes, try to take advantage of some takeaways or create takeaways from our perspective defensively, make a couple big special teams plays, get an entire team effort to be a little bit more consistent throughout the 60 minutes. And if we can do that, we can protect our quarterback and kind of cut back on any sort of mistakes where they get pressure. We might have to exit the ball fast. I think we're going to be really in good position. I know, listening to Coach Rocco and talking to a couple of the coaches, we've had a great week of practice, and I know we're well prepared and ready to go.
Looking forward to seeing what Delaware can get out on the field today against James Madison. We are getting close to kickoff. Before we do, let's send down to the field and welcome in the third member of our broadcast crew, and that's Nick Alessandrini.
Thanks, Scott. A beautiful day here for football in Newark for the homecoming game against James Madison. Down on the field, it was a little bit sunnier not too long ago. The clouds have seemed to come over top. It's around 60 degrees. A perfect, crisp afternoon for a big game against James Madison, guys.
Thank you, Nick. We'll be hearing from Nick Alessandrini out there on the sideline throughout this beautiful afternoon here in Newark. It's what you want for homecoming weather. Great tailgating atmosphere outside of the stadium. They're starting to come in to see their 23rd ranked Blue Hens at 3-3 take on James Madison at 5-1. Let's get to the Delaware football uniform report, sponsored by Delaware Hair and Company, a proud supporter of the Blue Hens. Look good, play good, and Delaware going with the blue jerseys and the yellow pants with those famous blue and gold helmets atop. For James Madison, wearing their road white uniforms. They've got a lot of variations for James Madison. Their uniform report is a surprise every week, but they've got white helmets with the gold JMU across the helmet and purple James Madison across the chest. Purple numbers and purple pants. Also want to let you know the DSCA Hometown Hen is presented by Delaware State Education Association. Do you know an education support professional that goes above and beyond the call of duty? Then nominate them for the All-Stars in Education ESP of the Month Award. Our monthly winner will be recognized and awarded a custom plaque from Crown Trophy, $100 Amazon gift card, Blue Hens tickets, and a whole lot more. Visit dsca.org and scroll down to Community to nominate. Bill, we just saw the toss on the field. How'd it go?
Well, JMU won the toss and they deferred. Delaware then chooses to receive, and the kick will go right to left into maybe a little bit of a wind. A good decision there by Delaware to make them kick. The wind is just blowing across at about 10 to 12 miles an hour, but I think it'll affect this kickoff a little bit more, going right to left.
All right, so Delaware will get the football first when they come out onto the field. Delaware led by Danny Rocco, head coach for the Blue Hens. These two teams met in the playoffs back in 2018. Of course, Danny Rocco leading Delaware back to the playoffs in 2018 for the first time since 2010. Kurt Signetti is the head coach of James Madison University, and he's done a great job since coming over a couple of years back. The officials today, head referee, we'll be hearing from Hank Johns on the microphone. The umpire is Todd Rombach. Ethan Ratke will kick things away for James Madison, one of the best, maybe the best all time at the FCS level in terms of kicking that football. Most field goals ever for James Madison, and back to return usually Dejan Lee, but let me take a look at who's out there. I'm so used to saying Dejan. We're going to see Joey Bruno back to return.
I think that's the first time all year he's been deep.
It is. Joey Bruno is back for Delaware. So James Madison, Delaware, homecoming here in Newark, and we're underway. James Madison kicking it to Bruno at the 5. To the 10-yard line. The Speedster gets to the 15, 20, and is brought down at that 20-yard line. So Delaware will come out on offense. Let's get to the starters for the Blue Hens. Zach Gwynn is your quarterback. Dejan Lee, the running back. Gene Coleman, Brett Buckman and Thyrick Pitts listed as the starting wide receivers. Bryce DeMalley listed at tight end. They've gone back and forth depending on formation who the starting tight end will be. And the offensive line from left to right, Kroll, Brown, should be James Prince. As we learned, Mickey Henry is out, Patrick Shupp, and Ben Trent on the offensive line. We'll get your defensive starters for James Madison after the first snap by Delaware. Out of shotgun form is Zach Gwynn. In motion goes Gene Coleman. And the give is a Dejan Lee. 111 yards per game over his last 4, but he'll go backwards to start. And that's what we talked about in the pregame show. James Madison set up to put Delaware in tough position with tackles for loss. James Madison defensively, Bryce Carter, Carpenter, and Green, the All-CAA all-defensive selection on the defensive line. Ukwu, Azanama, Tucker Dorsey, and Chuck Wunny is the linebackers, and the cornerbacks Ross and Carroll. The safeties are Reed and Davis, the transfer from Ohio State. Second down 11 for Delaware. Ball at their own 19-yard line. We'll see Gwynn look to throw for the first time, and a miscommunication as Thyrick Pitts was standing at the 35. Ball landed around midfield. 0-1 to start for Zach Gwynn.
JMU opens up in a 4-3, kind of a conservative look. They'll play some nickel. They play a little bit of dime, but mostly they rely on their front 4 and those linebackers to flow side to side. A nice play on first down to get a little bit of a loss, and then Gwynn just overthrew the ball there. I think he and Pitts were off track in their level of the throw.
They've been on track over the last couple weeks. 7 receptions for Thyrick Pitts against Stony Brook. Third down and 11. Pressure coming. Zach Gwynn spins out. He's got nowhere to go. Dropped at the 2-yard line. Pressure was coming from James Madison, and Kelvin Azanama will get credit with the sack.
Well, you'd almost credit 4 guys for it. They had great pressure. They forced Gwynn, who tried to escape 2 different ways, and then Azuma comes off that right edge. He is really electric and dynamic, very quick off the ball, uses his hands very well.
And this is dangerous for Delaware, who's had such trouble punting the football, and now Tyler Pastula does not have a whole lot of room to work on. 4th down and 28 from the back of his end zone. He gets it off cleanly. It's short, though. Will bounce at the 36-yard line, take a couple of Delaware rolls, and Trainer will get it at the 46-yard line. So a quick 3-and-out going backwards for Delaware. Negative 18 yards on their first 3 plays, and the 7th-ranked team in the country will come out. Starters Cole Johnson at quarterback. Ajay Obase is the running back. Wells, Bracey, and Thornton are the wide receivers. Turner is the tight end. Stevens, Wyatt, Timming, Potts, and Kidwell, the offensive line from left to right. We'll get you Delaware starters after the first snap to Cole Johnson, who's in shotgun form. Already a top 10 passer all time, but James Madison just his 14th start all time. Ajay Obase gets to the second level, brought down at the 40-yard line. Delaware defensively, Hemingway listed as a starter. We'll check on that for you. Jordan Morris and Chase McGowan playing for the injured Frank Burtner. I should say Burton, who's in COVID protocol. Darian, Trainer, Buchanan, Pulowski, the linebackers. Hill and Henley, the corners, and Whitehead and Plack are the safeties. Second down and 4. Ball at the Delaware 40-yard line. First possession of the game for James Madison. He'll go again to Jay Obase, preseason CAA Player of the Year on offense. And he's brought down shy of the first down marker to be 3rd down about 2.
Right on cue, the first play, Noah Plack comes down from the safety position, makes a great play. And there's Johnny Buchanan, who's really playing at a higher level than he was early in the year. A great fit there to make a fine tackle in this really good running game behind a power blocking scheme. 3rd down.
It'll be Ajay Obase for the 3rd time in a row, and Delaware going to stop him. A gain of 1 on 3rd down and 2. Nice 3rd down defense by the Hens. Johnny Buchanan was in there on the mix.
And also, Darian coming off the left edge did a great job of skimming down the line of scrimmage and helping make that tackle from behind.
James Madison going to go for it on 4th down here. 4th and 2 from the Delaware 38-yard line. Johnson checks back with his sideline. Big play here for Delaware. JMU on 4th down. This season they are 6 of 8 on 4th down tries. Johnson will give it again to the running back. He's going to be shy of 4th down, stop by Delaware.
JMU runs off the left side of the line. We had Jordan Morris in a nice shaded position. He drew the double team and then multiple tacklers there. Andrew Pulowski up on the line of scrimmage. We really did a great job of crowding the box. Johnny Buchanan aggressively coming downhill. So that was a great stop by Delaware to set the tone here. And I wanted to go back. That was a pretty nice punt out of the end zone with pressure from Tyler Pastula to give JMU decent field position, but not great considering he was kicking so deep.
You go back to last week against Stony Brook, and that's 4 out of the last 5 possessions. Delaware has had a 3 or 4 and out defensively. See if Delaware can do something with the football now as they get it back for their second possession. Dejan Lee doing something, and he is carrying a defender into Delaware territory at the 47-yard line. Nice pickup by the Springs CAA Offensive Player of the Year.
It starts as inside power, and then Dejan Lee is so good with that little quick jump cut. He went left, back to right, and Thyrick Pitts had a terrific block downfield to spring Dejan Lee for an extra 7 yards.
He says no block, no rock. And Thyrick got the rock 7 times a week ago, and he's out there doing the little things to help this team win. First down of the day for either team. And Bryce DeMalley will go in motion as the Hens have it 1st and 10 from the 47 of James Madison. Quincy Watson gets it, starts left, changes his direction, and gets back maybe to the line of scrimmage. Possibly a loss of 1. 2nd down and 11 to the 48. 11-17 remaining. Just getting started here in the first quarter. No score thus far.
When JMU can reset the line of scrimmage, meaning their front 4 gets off the ball and gets a yard or 2 penetration, it really makes it hard for those cutbacks to occur and even your zone play. So that was really good team defense there by JMU on that run play by Quincy.
Isaac Ukwu with the tackle on Watson. We see Paoletti come into the game on 2nd down and 11. Watson will go in motion. And it'll be Paoletti keeping it up the gut. Gains about 5 or 6, setting up 3rd down for Delaware. And Coach Rocco early in the week saying, hindsight being 2020, probably should have played Anthony Paoletti a little bit more last week against the Seawolves.
Well, I love the call. They fake the speed sweep, but really what it is a zone read by Paoletti. The motion goes across. They try to draw a linebacker. He then pulls the ball behind some good blocking on the left side. David Kroll and Tucker Dorsey, their excellent tackler, makes a nice play on Paoletti to bring up a 3rd and 7.
3rd down for Delaware for the 2nd time today. Gwynn going to throw for the 2nd time today, and he finds Gene Coleman for 1st down yardage at the 34. Gene, you talked about it in the pregame show, has such a good job of gauging where he needs to get to, where the sticks are located.
I think he runs this, what I call the zone sit down, where he goes downfield, looks for the void in the zone, hooks up, makes himself available beyond the 1st down marker for whatever quarterback's in. That time Zach Gwynn with a really quick delivery, and he's so reliable receiver as Gene Coleman. Always in the right place, makes the catch.
Second 1st down of the drive for Delaware. Started off with a 16-yard run by Dejan Lee. Now Gwynn under center for the first time. James Collins in motion. And Collins will get the rock. Trying to get outside, cannot. Nice tackle in open space by M.J. Hampton, the 5th-year senior from Fredericksburg.
Well, that was a great tackle because that play had a chance to go for bigger yardage. That was unbalanced to formation. They motion and then motion back, and then run the ball to field, and we had some good blocking downfield, so a nice call. We're trying to deceive this JMU defense with some of our formations and the use of Paoletti.
And there is a timeout on the field. Delaware, I believe. No, there's an injured player down in Newark Urgent Care. Injury stoppage. It looks like Q Reed, the sophomore from Concord, North Carolina, getting it checked out. That allows us to take a moment and remind our listeners that Brandywine Electronics is our audio partner through and through. Every year, Brandywine Electronics always working hard to make sure the Blue Hens Radio is sending the highest quality of sound to our Delaware football fans. They take such pride for their work, and it's resulted in being a trusted audio provider for some of the biggest events in the area for over 40 years. BEL.com. It looks like we will take a timeout now as the Red Hat comes onto the field. So your firstaidortho.com timeout score. Delaware nothing, Dukes nothing, 9:21. First quarter action. We'll be back in a moment.
This is Dr. Joseph Strait for First Aid Orthopedics. FSO welcomes Dr. James Costanzo to our joint replacement team. Dr. Costanzo is fellowship trained in adult hip and knee reconstruction and specializes in hip replacement with a muscle-sparing approach. Dr. Costanzo has extensive expertise in revision hip and knee replacement as well. Dr. Costanzo has been treating the Delaware community for the past 5 years and will be seeing patients in Newcastle and Kent counties. FSO, the team of award-winning specialists taking care of Delaware from the beach to the bridge and beyond. Call for an appointment and check us out online at firstaidortho.com.
Delaware Electricians Local 313 and the National
We'll go to this play, and I'll come back.
Zach Gwynn out of shotgun form. In motion goes Gene Coleman after the stoppage, the Newark Urgent Care injury stoppage. And the timeout. Gwynn lobbing for Pitts. So successful with that play. Out of bounds this time, though. They scored a couple touchdowns a week ago from deep. Gwynn to Thyrick Pitts. Bill, I'll let you finish your keys.
Do not give up any big plays. Kind of bend but not break. Fill the line of scrimmage. Stop that run game. But because of the downfield capability of JMU, we can ill afford any of those big quick strike plays that gives that offense of JMU so much confidence.
So now 3rd down. Delaware already 2 first downs on this drive. It started with a Dejon Lee 16-yard run, and then on 3rd down, Zach Gwynn found Gene Coleman for 10 yards to JMU 34. Now no score, 3rd and 10 from that 34-yard line, and Gwynn will drop back. Has some time, surveying, has a man open, but it's knocked away. Jordan Towson was open at the 20-yard line, but a pass breakup. I believe that was Kelvin Azanova who made the sack on the first drive and saved the first down for James Madison there. And we'll see Ryan Coe. What a play defensively.
Oh, Zamu is really good at playing both at the line of scrimmage and then dropping into coverage, as all their linebackers do. They can be run stoppers, but they can also be good in coverage. A nice tip, because great protection there by Delaware's offensive line. A nice pickup blitz block by Dejon Lee as well.
This one going to be from 51 for Ryan Coe. He's got one of the strongest legs in college football, and he showed it off there. Another 50-plus yard field goal for Ryan Coe, and Delaware leads 3-0.
Now there's a competitor. He wanted to send the message to the other sidelines, and they're a great kicker. Hey, I've got some game too. We know he's got great range. A nice decision by Delaware to force him to kick off into the wind. That probably 4 or 5 extra yards help there, but Coe's got a great leg, so accurate, and I just love his tough-mindedness.
8 plays, 51 yards, taking up, 8 plays, 29 yards, taking up 3:03 on the clock, a 51-yard field goal by Ryan Coe. That's your Chevrolet drive summary. So Delaware, after going backwards on their opening drive, they moved the football well against James Madison. A great defensive pass breakup negated them getting even closer, but Ryan Coe doing the rest. A 51-yard field goal, 3rd career plus 50-yard field goal by Ryan Coe.
Well, we've always talked about the physique of Ryan Coe. He looks like he could play linebacker, I don't know, strong safety, some fullback. I mean, he is a really well-built, muscular guy. He obviously loves the weight program of Chris Stewart. He does a lot of really good things. This is another one of his great skills, the ability, hopefully, to get a touchback on the kickoff. He has 21 of 29 on the season.
And an onside kick. They tried to fake James Madison out, and I don't know if they were ready for it, but they did recover the kick nonetheless. A surprise, surprise. I like at least the attempt in trying to make something happen against a 7th-ranked team in the country. But James Madison does recover at Delaware's 44-yard line.
I love the move. That's something you see from your film study. You understand that either by their alignment or by the way they leave a little bit early to get back into their blocking pattern, that was available. Coe hit it just the right distance, but a heads-up play up front for JMU. I like the aggressiveness of Delaware here.
James Madison went 4 in a row to Ajay Obase on the opening drive, and now they'll switch running backs but keep it on the ground. Latrell Palmer is dropped at the line of scrimmage. Good to see Artis Hemingway back and getting on the action early.
It certainly is. He can set an edge. He can get some penetration, uses his hands well, very powerful. Getting Hemingway back is a huge lift because it provides a little bit more depth to that defensive line that's missing Burton and Coomer and Hall.
2nd down and 10, 8:24, first quarter action. Delaware up 3-0 after Ryan Coe field goal. And it'll be Cole Johnson running the football this time, stumbling to the 31-yard line and picking up the first down of the day for James Madison. So 6 runs to start the day. 5 from running backs and 1 from the QB.
That's what you call zone read. The quarterback is staring at the backside end. If he closes down aggressively to handle the zone, he pulls it. He was able to do that. Not known as a great runner, but did a nice job there.
Latrell Palmer gets 5 on first down. Noah Plack coming up to make another stop. Noah Plack, 20 tackles in his first 3 games.
Plack is so good at finding his way down to the line of scrimmage, getting exactly the right fit, what hole he's responsible for in their defense. It's going to vary from time to time depending on the front and if we have a blitz or not.
2nd down for James Madison. Ajay Obase back in the game against the 26-yard line. It'll be third down again for James Madison. James Madison 0 of 1 on third down. They went for it on 4th and 2 on their opening drive and were unsuccessful. So a chance for Delaware to get another stop here on 3rd and about 5.
Trying to run power to the left. The guard pulled, and he's supposed to work up on the linebacker, but Chase McGowan was right in the hole, coming hard on a slant down the line. Made a great play there.
And the rain looks like it's starting to come down here a bit on homecoming, and some confusion with personnel on third down here. Late to come into the contest for James Madison was some personnel that they had to switch out, and James Madison going to call a timeout.
30 seconds.
It looked like Solomon Van Horst, the running back, was coming in late, so they call a timeout, and it's going to be 3rd down and 4 at the 25. We'll take a break. Your firstaidortho.com timeout score. Delaware 3, James Madison nothing. 6:57, first quarter.
Healthy habits have always started at home, but now everyday actions are life-saving practices, and we're all taking extra steps to stay strong, both physically and emotionally. You've done the right things to safeguard your loved ones and the community, but what about yourself? It's your turn. Choose one of 3 convenient ways to speak with your ChristianaCare provider, because sometimes to care for others, you need to be cared for first. We're here for you, for the love of health.
It's there in his passion to teach and help his students create, and there in helping her students stay focused on a task and get it right. It's also in that moment when she accomplishes a goal she's been working on for weeks, or in that nudge of encouragement that motivates her to learn. Student success in Delaware Public Schools is built on these individual stories happening every day, and it's driven by teachers and education support professionals working together to give every student the attention they need to be successful in life.
Henderson, Luke Frederick, Corey Spruill, Frank Burton, Nick Coomer, Jack Hall, and Colby Reeder also out today. That's your ChristianaCare in-game injury update. Big play here as James Madison out on the field for 3rd down and 4 from Delaware 25-yard line. Delaware's already gotten 1 third down stop.
Watch out for Van Horst out of the backfield. A very fine receiver, a scat back.
Coming out of a James Madison timeout where they had a personnel grouping issue. Crowd making some noise for Johnson. He'll throw for the first time, and Bill, you called it. There's the running back getting 1st down yardage on a swing pass inside the 15, and that might be 1st and goal to go, depending on where they mark it, the 11 or the 10.
They immediately released Van Horst into the left flat. We were a little slow rolling our coverage that way. We had dropped off from press man to a little bit more of a cover 3 behind. A nice read there by the quarterback, Cole Johnson.
And a whistle as they tried to run a play quickly.
For the snap. First time out of the half. Delaware, 30 seconds.
So we've gone back-to-back timeouts now, which is interesting. James Madison called a timeout prior to their 3rd down, and now Delaware calls a timeout defensively. Perhaps some personnel grouping issues. While we have a moment, let's head down to the sideline and Nick Alessandrini, who is no longer dry. Nick?
Thanks, Scott. Yeah, it's starting to rain here. Light rain here at Delaware Stadium. Started about 5 or 10 minutes ago. Had to put the hoodie on, but again, not a lot of rain, but enough to have a little bit of effect out on the field, so we'll keep an eye on it. Sun's starting to poke out a little bit. Hopefully the weather starts to clear up, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Nick. Here we were talking about perfect football weather. You know, for some, a little bit of rain is perfect football weather. They like to get dirty during the football season or get wet, but let's get back onto the field now. Thank you, Nick. We'll hear from you throughout the broadcast. And on 1st and 10, 1st and goal to go from the 10. James Madison gives again to the running back and stopped at the line of scrimmage. This time McGowan and Kedrick Whitehead combined for the stop. It'll be 2nd goal to go from the 9. Delaware up 3-0, 6:26 and ticking, 1st quarter.
JMU asking their veteran tight end Noah Turner to block Chase McGowan one-on-one, and he could not. McGowan really using his body and his leverage excellently, came inside to make that tackle after the short gain. Chase McGowan on his game again here as he was up at Stony Brook.
Trips to the far side right for Cole Johnson. Again, it's a Jay Obase, and he hasn't gotten much today. Very talented running back, with best all time at James Madison, but another 2-3 yard run this time to the 7.
And the reason he doesn't get a lot is because Kendrick Whitehead came in from an outside leverage position to make a great play, and Tommy Walsh, who I think does a great job of working down the line of scrimmage off blocks, comes in from behind to also help on the tackle.
Obase, 7 carries, 14 yards thus far. James Madison, 7 plays, 37 yards on the drive. But Jay Obase is the running back. Johnson in shotgun form. Another 3rd down, this time goal to go from the 7. In motion goes Antoine Wells. A bobbled exchange, and Cole Johnson goes down. It was Andrew Pawlowski this time who got to the QB.
Well, we crowd the line of scrimmage, and I love the concept by Manny Rojas, the defensive coordinator. He gets the line of scrimmage crowded to try to confuse the blocking, brought some different angles off. Not only was Pawlowski there, but Chase McGowan again at the point of attack. So McGowan off to a great start here, and we need that kind of play. We need someone to find a way to make a big play. He and Pawlowski there with great pressure on the quarterback.
Ethan Racky will try from 30, the best all time at FCS, and he adds to his total a 30-yard field goal. But Delaware holding James Madison to a field goal try as they get 1st and goal to go. Racky now 86 career field goals. That's the most all-time at the FCS level. 9 plays, 31 yards, 4:06 off the clock. That's your Chevrolet drive summary. And while we have a moment, reminder to our listeners that going to the gym doesn't have to be scary this October. Join the Hockessin Athletic Club and pay nothing until November 10th. From the main fitness floor to the weight room, group fitness, indoor pool, open year-round. My family loves it at the Hack. We just signed up for our next round of youth sports classes for our son Ryan. I'd love to see you there. Pay nothing this month to join. Visit hachealthclub.com.
Scotty, I'm calling that a huge win. We take the aggressive stance of trying to recover an onside kick early on, a surprise one. We don't get it. They have great field position. They make a big play with the quarterback on the zone read, but then we come back. Johnny Buchanan already with 5 tackles. He's been outstanding. But more importantly, our defense really dug in and did a great job. They only have 25 yards on the ground. 13 were on the run by Johnson on the belly read. So we've done a great job on the other 10 carries, only 12 yards.
Gene Coleman going to return this one from the 5, 10, 15. Spin, stays up momentarily, and this will be the 2nd drive of the game. That'll start from the 20-yard line after a kickoff from James Madison. So Delaware went backwards 18 yards to start this game, but then moved the football. They went 8 plays, 29 yards. Dejan Lee had a 16-yard run. And so they showed some more signs. What was hurting Delaware a week ago is just the inconsistency. Sometimes they would show that they'd have some offense, and then sometimes we would see a quick 3 and out. We'll see what version of the offense comes out on the field this time, as we'll start with Anthony Paoletti at the quarterback position.
2nd time we've used the Q-Cat. He ran the ball in the first one off a fake speed sweep.
1st and 10 from the 20. Tie score at 3. Marcus Yarns, freshman running back, running wide and can't turn up the field much. 2-yard gain to the 22-yard line. 4:30 and ticking. Tie score at 3.
I thought Yarns showed some really nice promise last week on the road up at Stony Brook. He ran hard. He's got nice acceleration, a big-bodied running back who can finish the runs. Gingrich in at center on this drive. So Delaware will, as we have noted in the past, will move that offensive line around a little bit, moving pieces. But I think that's a great strategy by offensive line coach Steve Stensprang.
Gingrich snaps it to Gwynn, who rolls out, has to throw, being pressured into traffic, intercepted. He was throwing on the run, looking for Gene Coleman, and threw it into the arms of M.J. Hampton, who wrestled with Gene Coleman, but got the turnover. And now JMU will start in plus territory.
Well, that's just excellent coverage by Hampton. He was in wonderful position. Coleman just running a bend out going to the right sideline in front of Delaware's bench. And that's probably one, when he looks at the tape, Zach might want to just throw that one away, or at least push it out even further where maybe Gene on a dive might be able to get it.
Yeah, that's a throwaway, and Zach Wynn's got to get rid of that football out of bounds. He was being pressured, he was off balance, you're throwing into traffic, and that is the 5th interception of the season for Zach Wynn. Now the offense back on the field for James Madison, and they'll start at the Delaware 34-yard line. Second throw of the day to Latrell Palmer, and Johnson's 2 of 2 to start. Johnson got sacked to end the drive on the last possession. Remember, when the Hens have a sack, it's a sack to give back. Food Line Feeds will donate another 1,000 meals to feed our neighbors in need right here in Delaware. Food Line is a proud partner of the Blue Hens. We'll donate up to 30,000 meals to our local food bank this season. So let's keep cheering on those sacks to give back. 2nd down and 5 for James Madison. Man goes in motion. And the give is to Palmer this time. Palmer brought down from behind by Toro. Toro playing on that defensive line. Delaware saying the ball popped loose. It was blown dead, and it should be 3rd down and 3.
Well, that's one thing we thought we might see a little bit more of. Toro not being as wide.
Forward progress was stopped before the ball came out. 3rd down.
But using him like we do Reader at times, roll him up on the line of scrimmage, bring him hard. He's very quick and explosive. Our 3-man defensive front with Jordan Morris in the middle has really done a nice job of holding up against those downhill runs.
James Madison in field goal range, 3rd down and 3 from Delaware's 27-yard line. The Dukes are 1 of 3 on 3rd down conversions. Cole Johnson throwing across the field, and a beat too slow at it was Nick Ware. The pass is complete at the 20-yard line for a 1st down. That ball was in the air hanging for a long time, and Ware was just 1 tick too slow for a pick 6.
And maybe that's just not enough reps. Nick Ware drove on it, but just a little bit late. You made a great remark, how long that out was to get to the 1st down. A nice pattern run there by Reggie Brown, and Johnson's got a good arm. He's more accurate than he has that true arm talent.
Johnson found Brown. Brown's 8th catch of the season. Johnson back to throw. Fresh set of downs. Over the middle this time. Knocked away. Justice Henley's 5th path breakup of this season.
And he did a great job there on Antoine Wells as he was running an end-breaking route. Justice Henley, one of the 2 corners at Delaware, I think may have the best pair in the CAA. He, along with Nigel Hill, did a great job of stepping in front of that, kind of read Johnson's eyes, and did a great job not getting the penalty and wrapping around with his long arm.
It's going to be 2nd down and 10. 2:24 ticking. I believe the rain has stopped here on homecoming weekend in Newark. 5th play of the drive coming up. And Johnson will go back to throw. End zone this time. Overshot his target. It was Brown again. And it'll be 3rd down and 10.
When you look at Cole Johnson on the tape, you'll see at times he's got a little bit of a long delivery, so sometimes it doesn't come out quite as fast, but what it allows him to do is provide some different arm angles and nice trajectory on some of those balls. Now that's one he'd like to have back. Should have probably thrown that at a 2nd level trajectory. He drove that ball a little bit too much over Brown's head, but good coverage there by Delaware. Now we need to probably bring some pressure.
3rd down and 10 from the 20. Crowd making noise. 2:19 to play. 1st quarter, ties score. Johnson over the middle. It's either incomplete or it's a fumble. It'll be marked incomplete. As Nigel Hill scooped it up, he would have taken it back for a touchdown as they were going over the middle, and solid defense by Delaware to knock it away. And we'll see Ethan Ratke again.
Delaware showed AA, and you see that a lot of the pros where they bluff and bail, but that time Delaware brought 6 to try to make Johnson uncomfortable. He was trying to hit Van Horst over the middle on a little choice route. Well defended. Nice job there by Delaware being on it, but I like the aggressiveness of Delaware's defense bringing the blitz.
This one will be from 37, as Ratke already made from 30. This one is up on 4th down and through. Back-to-back possessions leading to points for James Madison, but Delaware holding them to field goals. It's 6-3. That drive, 6 plays, 14 yards. 7 plays, 14 yards. We'll count the field goal. Minute 47 off the clock. That's your Chevrolet drive summary. We talked about it, Bill. Bend, don't break. That's what Delaware's been doing. And James Madison only 3 after the turnover. They were set up in great field position to start that drive, and Delaware holds them to 3.
Those are 2 huge wins for Delaware. You're aggressive in your kick game. You don't quite get it, but you send a message to JMU. Then you throw the pick, and then your defense really rallies. And I think JMU's got to be a little upset here. They feel like they've probably dominated the play, but they've only come away with 6 points. Delaware defense has been outstanding. Rallying to the football, some nice blitz concepts. Johnny Buchanan playing at a high level. So we're really getting some outstanding play and minimizing any damage with this excellent field position that they've had 2 times in a row.
Teed up now for James Madison as they lead 6-3 here in the first quarter, 2:10 remaining. And Delaware's got 3 back. Townsend, Bruno, and Coleman all lined up at the 5-yard line as Delaware will return left to right as we see it above the Whitney Athletic Center. Take it from the 7 this time. It's Coleman, his second return of the day. Gets to 20, 24, and that's 4 yards more than Delaware returned the football on their first 2 kickoff returns. So Zach Gwynn and the offense will come back out, and Zach Gwynn got to show that consistency. He played better at times against Stony Brook. At times, Delaware was what we just saw on the last possession, a 3-and-out or a team that had trouble moving the football. So Gwynn will come out with Dejan Lee, and this drive will start at their own 25.
Well, Zach is capable out on the edge. He's just got to make sure he makes a little bit more of a conservative decision when he gets out there, and he can run the ball as well at times when he does escape the pocket.
Gwynn talking to his teammates as he takes the snap, bobbled, and given to Dejan Lee, who patiently looks for an opening, can't find any, and he'll lose a yard, maybe get back to the line of scrimmage before he's wrapped up by multiple white jerseys.
Well, they run a little counter action there. Dejan was trying to cut it back across the formation going right to left. He was met there by the strong safety Wayne Davis, who is a really fine tackler. Kind of reminds me of Noah Plack for Delaware, being able to insert from the safety position to get down in the box and make plays.
Wayne Davis had a good game against Delaware back in 2018. A veteran, 5th-year senior, had an interception in that game in the playoffs, a transfer from Ohio State. 2nd down and 9 as Brose goes in motion. Gwynn will pull it back, look to throw. A lot of air under this one. That should be pass interference as Tyler Pitts was mauled at the 45-yard line. So a PI against James Madison coming up.
Well, what happens as a defensive back when you know you're beat? Sometimes the best thing you can do is just trip him up, grab him, hold him, not allow him to get the big play. So it was kind of a business decision there.
Pass interference. Defense, number 21. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
And that's a good point, Bill. That would have been much more than 15 yards on the gain. So you get the pass interference, and all Delaware does is move up 15 yards and stay in their territory.
I like the fact that Jared Ambrose is encouraging Zach Gwynn to take some shots down the field. Let's stretch this defense that way, and hopefully that'll open up the underneath passing game and the run game.
Zach Gwynn on first down, gives to Dejan Lee to the outside, tries to cut it. Who else but Azanama is there to make the stop. He's been all over the place today for James Madison defensively. That PI on the last play was by Jordan Swan, and that's another in-conference transfer. He came over from Maine. In fact, in the spring, he had an interception against Delaware. So a guy that came over from the Maine Black Bears, and here he is playing at Delaware Stadium again for the 2nd time in about 6 months.
And the reason that's a smart play is in the pros, it's a spot foul. Here, it's just a 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage.
2nd down and 7, going to be 3rd down and long as Dejan Lee was wrapped up in the backfield. That's Bryce Carter. I just mentioned one in-conference transfer from Maine. Bryce Carter, same deal, transferred from the Townsend Tigers to James Madison. He gets the TFL -4 on the run for Dejan Lee.
Carter really quick out of his stance. He's explosive, but also the nose tackle, James Carpenter, was there. He's only a redshirt freshman from Roanoke, Virginia, and he's also somebody they really like, a big-bodied young man who moves well laterally.
Delaware needs 11 for a first down. It's 3rd down. Last play of the first quarter coming up, and there's some movement as Jordan Swan came across, touched Thyrick Pitts, and that should move
Offside.
Delaware closer.
Defense, number 21. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
George Swan having a rough drive here defensively for James Madison.
Well, sometimes you want your defense to bluff, to either confuse the offense or maybe even get them to jump, but you yourself have to be disciplined.
And that'll end the first quarter of action. Delaware led 3-0, and then back-to-back field goals by James Madison. Make sure firstaidortho.com timeout score. James Madison 6, Delaware 3. We'll be back with second quarter action in a moment. up. Delaware trying to go out with a bang if it is going to be the last time these two teams meet, as they're taking on the 7th-ranked team in the country. As we get back in action, 3rd down and 6 from Delaware's 44-yard line, and Gwynn will drop back, some pressure coming. He steps up in the pocket, tosses it to Gene Coleman, and he breaks the tackle, slips into James Madison territory. That play was looking like it was going to be 4 yards shy, and then Gene Coleman did the rest to move the chain.
Excellent protection. Then with time, Zach Gwynn keeps his eyes down the field, climbs the pocket, works back to the line of scrimmage, and then finds Gene Coleman, his very reliable possession receiver, who then makes a really nice cut to break the tackle. JMU typically a very solid tackling team, one of the things they do best on defense.
Gene Coleman, another catch here, keeps the drive alive, his second of the day. Just on our way here in the second quarter, Delaware down by 3. And a direct snap to Marcus Yarns. Yarns gets 4, maybe 3 to the 45-yard line. But I like Delaware trying some new things today. A direct snap to Marcus Yarns, just saw an onside kick earlier. They're giving it their all against the 7th-ranked team in the country.
And they're using some disguise there with Paoletti. He ran the ball on the first play, then he handed it off on the second, and then on the third, he doesn't even get the ball. It's snapped to Yarns. So some differences here, trying to, again, confuse that JMU defense that's typically very disciplined.
Zach Gwynn in shotgun form on 2nd down and 6. They gave Yarns 4 on his opening run for this drive. Gwynn going to sling it sideways to Mateo Vandamia. Vandamia lowers his head into some traffic at the 42-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down once again for Delaware. They'll need 3 for another 1st down.
Zach Gwynn showing off his baseball style there.
Right.
A little sidearm, almost Patrick Mahomes-like pass. But what I love there, it took 5 JMU people to bring down Vandamia, who is really a tough guy. We've talked a lot about his blocking. I think he's an underrated ball carrier and also an underrated pass receiver. Worked for 2 extra yards there that I'm not sure anybody else would have gotten.
He's got 4 catches now on the season. Vandamia, we talked about the lead blocker in that Anthony Paoletti Wildcat package. 3rd down and 3 for Delaware. Gwynn takes it. They're going to keep it on the ground. Lee's going to have to run for it, and he might have bounced enough to get it. Contact at the 42, and I believe he bounced all the way to the 39-yard line, which was the line to gain. They're going to mark it just shy, it looks like.
Well, he's just short, but that was also a great effort. Kind of a little counter action there. They show action to the right, and then Lee brings it back to the left. Did a nice job of getting his shoulder square down the line. I think that was a tough spot. I'm sure Delaware's going to go for it here.
He bounced right off of Chuck Winecki. And now Marcus Yarns in on 4th down and inches. Under center is Zach Gwynn. Trying to get JMU to jump. They're showing discipline here. Gwynn keeps it, trying to get a shove, and it'll be interesting where they mark it. The far lines judge has a clear 1st down for Delaware. The near side official has a little tighter, but I believe he got the half a yard he needed for the 1st down.
Nice hard count there by Zach Gwynn. Did a good job there of then moving forward. Zach's a big man. He's got good underbody. He had a great leg drive there, working to the right there behind the center and Patrick Shupp at right guard.
So 1st down for Delaware. Gwynn in as the quarterback. As a head trail, 6-3. 1st down for Gwynn. Time to throw for Gwynn. Looking for Pitts. Pitts just couldn't reach the football, but he was grabbed by Greg Ross, a transfer from North Carolina, at around the 12-yard line. And that's 2 pass interference penalties on the defender who is up trying to stay with number 1 for UD.
What a tough assignment to guard Tyrek Pitts. Zach Gwynn did a nice job of throwing Pitts open.
Pass interference. Defense, number 33. 15 yards. The previous spot. Automatic. 1st down.
I don't know if they got the number right there.
They did not get it right. It was clearly on Greg Ross, who is one of their best cover guys.
The penalty remains the same. Greg Ross, transfer from North Carolina. Big recruit coming out of high school. Top 50 safety in the country. Coming out of Potomac High School in Temple Hills, Maryland. And keep throwing it Thyrek's way. No one in this league has shown they've been able to hang with Thyrik, who's got 23 catches on the season coming in. It'll be Quincy Watson on first down, and he'll go backwards, second down and 11 as Delaware gets dropped back to the 26-yard line. Heads down 6-3, 11:36 and ticking first quarter.
Trying to run those zone plays to develop a little slowly are really tough against JMU. Not only do they set a good edge and get some penetration, they get down the line of scrimmage from the backside to make a cutback very difficult to utilize. So a nice team defensive play there by JMU's defense, who really has to rally here.
Second down, 12 yards to go. -2 on the play for Quincy Watson. Little play action, a pump, looking for the end zone. Gene Coleman gets under it. It's James Coleman, excuse me. Either way, it's worth 6. What a grab by the Delaware native.
Protection is the key. Delaware held up, not much pressure, 4-man pressure. Gwynn had time to step up, survey. He comes back to Collins, running the fade route down the right side, steps into his throw, leads him perfectly, and an outstanding play there, catch and throw. Both players, Gwynn and Collins, doing an outstanding job.
I saw the 5 and made an assumption. James Coleman's first catch is a big one. Ryan Coe gets it up and through. The PATs in the parking lot, and Delaware takes their second lead of the game. Your firstaidortho.com timeout score: Delaware 10, James Madison 6.
Cough and cold season.
Healthy habits have always started at home, but now everyday actions are life-saving practices, and we're all taking extra steps to stay strong, both physically and emotionally. You've done the right things to safeguard your loved ones and the community, but what about yourself? It's your turn. Choose one of 3 convenient ways to speak with your ChristianaCare provider, because sometimes to care for others, you need to be cared for first. We're here for you, for the love of health.
It's there in his passion to teach and help his students create, and there in helping her students stay focused on a task and get it right. It's also in that moment when she accomplishes a goal she's been working on for weeks, or in that nudge of encouragement that motivates her to learn. Student success in Delaware Public Schools is built on these individual stories happening every day, and it's driven by teachers and education support professionals working together to give every student the attention they need to be successful in life.
Hi, Bill Hoffman here, President and CEO of Hoffman's Exterminating. The growth, both residentially and commercially, has been great to us, and we see another 30 years. At Hoffman's Exterminating, we believe in great partnerships. I'm here in front of the Subaru Park, home of the Philadelphia Union, a great partner of ours.
Chevrolet drive summary. What a big first catch of the career of the sophomore from Mount Pleasant High School in Wilmington, Delaware. Hey, this week's Bank of America nonprofit of the game is Ministry of Caring, a vibrant community of staff, volunteers, donors, and diverse supporters united by a passion to serve the poor. For more information, visit ministryofcaring.org. Delaware leads it now 10-6, and at least early on, big bad James Madison looking beatable as the 7th-ranked team in the country comes to Newark.
Settled for a couple field goals where typically they're very good scoring touchdowns in the red zone, or at least on the exterior part of the red zone. Getting penalized more than often. Now, they do get more penalties than Delaware does overall, but these are 2 big PIs. Now, let me tell you this. Pitts was open on both of them, so I thought they were good decisions in a sense defensively. And let me talk about Zach Gwynn. He throws the pick. He's probably under a little duress over the sideline. He comes back and throws some really accurate balls. He is a competitor. He's a tough-minded guy. And right now, Delaware doing all the right things to have an opportunity to get this big win at home. And I think JMU feels now a little pressed, and they need to find some plays themselves.
He had an onside kick the first time out. This time gets his 22nd touchback of the season. So James Madison will come back out there on offense, and Delaware's defense has looked good, holding James Madison to 54 total yards. That's the same amount that Delaware has offensively, but really up against some very short fields thanks to the turnover, the interception thrown by Gwynn, thanks to the onside kick by Delaware, and they've held JMU to back-to-back field goal tries.
This defense, I think, is kind of being able to rise up without Colby Reeder. Let's not forget that. No Drew Nichols. So other guys are really, I hate to use the term stepping up, but really making some big plays.
Palmer will get the rock right into Andrew Pulowski. Powers his way after contact to the 29-yard line and picks up 4. But another big tackle by the leading active tackler for Delaware, Andrew Pulowski, as he trails only Colby Reeder on total for the season.
Gotta love Pulowski. He can play in coverage. He can play down in the box. Sometimes they line him up as a defensive end, as he did there. He met a really good runner, a big tough guy, Latrell Palmer, in the hole. Yeah, he got carried about 2 yards, but he still stayed right with him.
On second down, Johnson has time to throw and will do so deep. And it's incomplete, looking for Antoine Wells at the 30. A bit high. Wells wanted a flag, didn't get it. Delaware solid coverage, and that's usually the case when Justice Henley is on duty.
When you watch Johnson on tape, when he misses, he tends to lead him a little far. That was wonderful coverage by Henley. It was a deep post route being run. He is right underneath, gets the tip away. Excellent coverage by Henley. Been really impressed with his downfield in particular coverage skills.
JMU only 2 of 5 on third down in this contest. Johnson drops back, pressured by McGowan, releases. It's caught this time by Wells with room to run at the 45, midfield and down in Delaware territory at the 48. Great hands by the redshirt freshman from Richmond. His 37th grab of the year will extend the drive.
Well, Johnson showed why he's a tough guy. That was only a 3-man pressure, and Chase McGowan got there just as he released the ball, but Johnson held the ball long enough to let the route develop over the middle. A really nice throw under pressure.
So a chance for Delaware to get off the field defensively. Instead, it's a first down for James Madison. Palmer looking for space, and Amante Struthers came from behind and got him for a gain of maybe 1. It'll be second down.
Struthers has been getting more reps recently, especially in first down. They'll bring him in as a cornerback. Sometimes he can play a nickel if they think they're going to throw on first down. But I like Struthers. He's physical. He's a playmaker. He can get involved at the line of scrimmage and make plays.
And that interception on the road in the end zone against Rhode Island. Second down and 10 to go for James Madison Johnson. All day to survey the field. Finds a Jay Obase, brought down by Kedrick Whitehead in space, and that's why he is a multiple-time All-American.
And those are two really good players going at each other in space. Obase has really nice hips. He has a change of pace. He had no opportunity there. Kendrick Whitehead came up, got under balance, and was able to make that open field tackle. That is much harder than it looks if you're watching this thing on Flow Sports.
Third down for James Madison from the Delaware 44-yard line. Johnson out of shotgun, trips to the right side. Here comes McGowan. Johnson avoids him. More pressure comes. Throws across the field. And Jay Obase had room to run, but Joe Zubalaga brought him down at the 40, 3 yards shy of the first down marker. That is not an easy task to bring down the preseason player of the year.
Johnson get flushed out of the pocket. He does a nice job there working, surveys the field, comes back to the left. Zubalaga, who I think maybe outside of Morris might be the most improved player on the team, did a great job of coming downhill, getting himself on balance to make another fine open field tackle.
We'll see the punt unit out for the first time for James Madison. Harry O'Kelly is the punter. Alex Miller has been the snapper every game since 2019. And Jordan Townsend, last time we saw him out trying to make a big play, dropped it inside the 5 against Stony Brook. Now he'll wave for it and let it bounce at the 10 and roll to the 3-yard line, where it'll be downed by JMU with 8:04 remaining. In quarter number 2, Delaware gets a stop defensively, and we'll get the football back up 10-6.
Well, that was kind of an interesting decision there by Signetti. I think typically they are aggressive in that part of the field, especially with an opponent who's playing at home. And that time he chose not to go for it to give Delaware field position because they had momentum. I think he's going to try to let his defense take over, pin Delaware back. I like the decision by Towson. Many times you want to catch that ball, but I don't think he had a feel for where the two gunners were to outside him who had actually gotten behind him and were able to down the ball.
Wing goes under center on first down from the 2-yard line. Going to throw out of the end zone. And no one around. Thyrick Pitts was standing at the 12-yard line. The ball landed at about the 30 out of bounds. So perhaps a throwaway by Zach Gwynn as he felt pressure coming in the end zone, wanted to avoid the safety or a miscommunication. Either way, it'll be second down and 10.
Well, sometimes the quarterback and receiver either have a small tell where they tap one another's head, or, I mean, not one another's, he taps his head or the receiver to tell him he's going to convert the route. And I think they were just miscommunicating there. He thought that Pitts was going to turn that one upfield.
On second down, Gwynn again under center. Van Damie is the fullback. Lee trying to get out of the end zone, barely does to the 1. It'll be 3rd down and 11. Delaware moving backwards, and they're running out of room to move backwards. They'll snap this one from the 1-yard line.
Well, that's that penetrating defense that we talked about in the pregame show and earlier here. This is what JMU wants to do. Reset the line of scrimmage, get penetration, force your runners not to be able to cut back and just take what's there. Good team defense by JMU, and this is what they try to do. Pin you back and then play the field position game.
Clock ticking at 7:25. Second quarter action. 3rd down 11 for Delaware. Got to be careful here as they'll snap this from the 1-yard line. DeMalley goes in motion. Gwynn is the quarterback, and they'll run it out with Lee. Lee just inches his way out of the safety area and gets the 1-yard line once again, but we're not done yet. Still a dangerous play coming up on 4th down for the second time today. Tyler Pastula will kick this one out of his own end zone with heels as far back as they can go.
And that was Dorsey who made the tackle, his 3rd one of the afternoon. Now, he is really good at finding his fits in the line of scrimmage and making plays. Important here, Pastula steps up into this kick and gets it off very quickly.
Pastula catches, releases, gets it up high, a nice kick by Pastula. It'll be returned from the James Madison 47-yard line in Delaware territory at the 40-yard line is where JMU will start this drive when we come back. Your firstaidortho.com timeout score with 6:32 remaining in the second quarter. Delaware leads 10-6.
The cost of a 4-year public college education has increased 225.
Healthy habits have always started at home, but now everyday actions are life-saving practices. And we're all taking extra steps to stay strong, both physically and emotionally. You've done the right things to safeguard your loved ones and the community, but what about yourself? It's your turn. Choose one of 3 convenient ways to speak with your Christianacare provider, because sometimes to care for others, you need to be cared for first. We're here for you, for the love of health.
It's there in his passion to teach and help his students create, and there in helping her students stay focused on a task and get it right. It's also in that moment when she accomplishes a goal she's been working on for weeks, or in that nudge of encouragement that motivates her to learn. Student success in Delaware Public Schools is built on these individual stories happening every day, and it's driven by teachers and education support professionals working together to give every student the attention they need to be successful in life.
Hi, Bill Hoffman here, President and CEO of Hoffman's Exterminating. The growth, both residentially and commercially, has been great to us, and we see another 30 years. At Hoffman's Exterminating, we believe in great partnerships. I'm here in front of the Subaru Park, home of the Philadelphia Union, a great partner of ours.
Each and every one of us make a difference. It's what we do, it's what we think, it's what we feel, and how we cooperate, not just with one another, but also with the people on the street, which are our customers, our bread and butter.
Purrs.
Play was stopped momentarily. Delaware's crowd was getting into it to start this drive for James Madison as they will begin at the Delaware 41-yard line, down by 4, 10-6, 6:32 left in the first half. Play action as Johnson will set his feet and throw to the running back out of the backfield. It was high and incomplete as Darian made sure of it with a big pop on Austin Douglas.
Well, he was trying to find Douglas in the right flat after having time to survey the field. He comes to his check down, and again, sometimes he gets that long arm and he throws the ball a little high, and that's the second or third time today he's been high with his delivery. So what he's got to do is either flex his front knee more or bring his follow through down.
Second down and 10 for Johnson. Running back is Palmer. And he moves left to right. Palmer will get the give, and they haven't been able to have too much success. 4 yards there for James Madison, but as one of your keys, no big plays. This is a big play offense with Percy J. Obase, who's been held to 14 yards, and Latrell Palmer now a little bit over 10.
JMU continues to try to probe inside with that typical zone play. Delaware's been much up to the task, even though they'll show a 3-man front at times. Those linebackers are fitting in well. That means that defensive line is actually almost becoming 2-gappers.
3rd down and 5 for JMU. They are 3 of 7 on 3rd down today. 94 total yards of offense. They're in Delaware territory, and it's going to be Palmer running wide, slipping, but getting enough across the 30 and down to the 29-yard line. Slow developing run there for Palmer, but he had enough space to move the chain.
Palmer started in at the left guard on a zone play. Delaware showed a 5-man front, brought both linebackers, Buchanan and Trainer, and then the play gets bounced outside, and that's what Palmer and others are very good at with JMU. They see the hole close up inside, they work to the outside, and then Whitehead had to come up and make the play.
Johnson will keep it himself on the read, and he can't get past Pulowski, who had a sack earlier in the game and now got the quarterback down for the 2nd time.
Such a sure tackler as Andrew Pulowski. He does a great job of maintaining his base, keeping his feet moving, but still coming to balance where he can make that play. Johnson really not known as a runner. They're trying to get off of that zone read where he looks down the line, sees us close, and then pulls it and runs himself. But I think Delaware's doing a nice job. Take away the zone, make Johnson run the ball.
James Madison will snap it on 2nd down, swing it to the running back, and Van Horst goes down at the 30-yard line, a loss of 1. Delaware really solid tackling in this game today.
Well, what we're doing is we're playing a soft zone. We're allowing the checkdowns to occur, and then we're rallying to it. There's Pulowski with another nice play, and Van Horst is a very shifty player out in space, but they checked it down to the boundary. Delaware knew that. They rallied Pulowski to it. Really great team defense on this drive.
3rd down and 11 for James Madison. Trips to the right side. Johnson looking that way. Has a target thrown wide and incomplete. Delaware holding James Madison to 4 of 9 on 3rd down. He was looking for Antoine Wells, and it was well wide of the freshman.
They're running Wells on an out pattern. He was actually double covered, and I think Johnson did the right thing. He threw that ball away. He was not going to fit it in, especially when he had to throw it that far to field.
Kyle Davis will come on and be the snapper. Alex Miller, the holder, and Ethan Ratke will try to make his 3rd field goal. This is longest try of the day. It'll be from 47 yards. He made a 44-yard field goal at Weber State. This will be his long of the year. Has the distance and is through. A battle of some of the best legs in the CAA, maybe in FCS football, as Ethan Ratke knocks one through for the 3rd time. He's got all 9 of James Madison's points. Here's Chevrolet drive summary. 6 plays, 11 yards for James Madison. They get 3 on the books, and they trail 10-9 now.
And you said the key word, they trailed 10-9. Delaware's had some really difficult field positions forced against them for a variety of reasons. An onside kick try, which I really loved, the interception, and then the deep punt out of our end zone. Even though Pastula got off a 52-yarder, and Delaware has responded 3 different times in different ways to minimize the damage. It feels like JMU is thinking, hey, we should be ahead in this game, and they are not, and they're down on the road. So now we know they get the ball at the start of the 2nd half, but either way, I have been very impressed with Delaware's resilience here this afternoon, especially defensively.
Ethan Ratke with that field goal just passed Cooper Kupp on the all-time scoring list.
I think you just like saying his name, don't you?
In FCS history. 4th now all-time leading scorer in FCS history. That's pretty impressive stuff for Ethan Ratke. And now Delaware will return. It's high, and Coleman going to take it from the 15-yard line to the 20 and gets to the 24-yard line, where Delaware's offense will try to add to their total before heading into the locker room, up 10-9, 4:03 left in this 1st half of football.
Well, strategically there, maybe they don't have Ryan Coe, so they try to kick it high with a little bit more hang time. That ball probably hung up about 4 seconds. That allows their kickoff coverage team to get about 5 yards further down the field and minimize the opportunity for a long return. And they really worry about Gene Coleman and others back there.
12-yard return for Coleman. Dejan Lee is the back as Delaware's offense comes out. We'll start 1st and 10. We'll mark at the 25-yard line. Lee, 8 carries, 16 yards. He's lost a few. And a whistle is play clock showing 0. That's interesting coming off of a...
I don't think it got reset.
Before the play clock expired. Second time out of the half. Delaware, 30 seconds.
I would be interested to see if you're right. The play clock did not return to where it should have been, because you rarely see Delaware or any team come out after a kickoff return and get a time of possession or a violation on the clock there. Delaware does have to use a timeout, and they'll only have one left.
Well, Zach Gwynn was checking the play, but I still didn't think that he had utilized that much time. Delaware's going to allow Gwynn, much like they do with Nolan Henderson. They call a play on the sideline, they get out on the field, he sees something different, he checks it to a next best situation. Sometimes you want to put yourself in a great play, other times you may just want to take yourself out of a bad play based on how the defense lines up.
So Delaware out there now with Zach Gwynn at quarterback. Dejan Lee is the running back. Gwynn hit as he throws to Pitts, and Pitts makes the grab in double coverage. First down in James Madison territory.
I can't tell you how good a throw that was by Zach Gwynn. Gets hit literally as he is releasing the ball, maybe even a little before, throws a perfect pass to Tyron Pitts running a fade down the left side. In double coverage, the ball was perfectly placed. And another outstanding catch. We know how much Pitts can compete amongst one or two players for the ball in traffic.
What a toss to Thyrick Gwynn. Going to try again. This time overthrows him. Perhaps trying to get another pass interference call again against Greg Ross. There's been 2 so far in the day. But I like trying to feed number 1 as much as possible.
Well, a lot of people thought Delaware was probably going to be more conservative. I even thought maybe they would try to establish that run a little bit more, but they've really freed up Gwynn because he's had some success throwing the ball down the field. And when you have a receiver like Pitts and Coleman, why not take advantage of that down the field? And JMU looks suspect there.
Pitts, 7 catches a week ago, gets one there. Bouncing the outside as Lee being chased and shoved out of bounds around the 43-yard line.
Boy, that was a nifty move. Lee comes out the backside on a jump cut. He has their great tackler Dorsey there to confront him. He gives him a little lean inside. Dorsey just leans that way, and then he pops outside for additional yardage. Though that didn't look like much, that was a very sophisticated cut and run by Dejan Lee.
So it's 3rd down and 5 for Delaware. James Madison territory at the 42. Trips to the right side now. Bryce DeMalley comes closer to Gwynn. Gwynn checks right, throws to Lee, who was open for a first down yardage and much more, but overthrown by Gwynn, who was being pressured by the Dukes. If that one ends up in the hands of Lee, he's got some space to make something happen. Instead, we'll see Tyler Pastula.
Well, they bring a field 5-man pressure, and Gwynn kind of felt it, and I think that's why he tried to get it out a little quickly. Wasn't able to follow through like he would normally do. He had Lee in that left flat, and it would have been, unfortunately, for Delaware, fortunately, it would have been a first down, but unfortunately, it's incomplete. But a good move here with the lead to punt the ball.
Pastula will get away. Jack Soroba back to return, waves his arms, and catches the football at the 11-yard line, where James Madison will start things off, possibly the final drive of the first half. Down 10-9, 2:54 left to play, and we got a Newark urgent care injury update to Nick Alessandrini, who's on the sideline. Nick, what do you got?
Hey guys, number 2, Austin Douglas for JMU, seen limping to the locker room with trainers just ahead of the half. Again, maybe just trying to get him in there early to get him looked at as the team heads into the locker room, but something to keep an eye out for as the game continues.
Thank you very much, Nick. Douglas, 120 yards rushing. We saw him in action on the last drive for James Madison. They'll start this drive 1st and 10 from their own 11. And they go to Percy Ajay Obase, who spins and stays up amongst 3 blue jerseys at least. Gets the 18-yard line. This is as far back as James Madison, I believe, has started a drive in this contest.
You're absolutely right. Field position battle here. Nice chess match with Danny Rocco working the special teams aspect to his advantage. A nice run there by Obase, his best one of the day.
2nd down and 3, a 7-yard run. As Bill's right, that was the longest run of the day for Ajay Obase. And he won't get 7 again as he was wrapped up immediately by Toro. Kedrick Whitehead came in to help make the stop. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
We thought Toro would be more impactful off the edge, and he's really good at that. He's got a great stance, a get off. He reads exactly the cadence. He's down the line flat. And no wonder, too, Kendrick Whitehead, working down from a safety position, was there to help assist on that tackle. So I love the fact that Toro and the edge players, McGowan, have been very impactful here this afternoon.
Whitehead has assisted on both of the first 2 tackles on this drive. Late coming off the field is Palmer. The official holding up the snap. On 3rd down and 2. 1:43 left to play in the first half, and Delaware up 10-9. Johnson back to throw. Here comes pressure from McGowan. He tosses complete to the 22-yard line. Enough for the first down. That's Chris Thornton's first grab of the game.
And Thornton is just like Gene Coleman, a really good possession receiver. He's running a little crossing route, not at full speed, trying to find the hole in the defense. Good execution there for the first down. They're going to hurry up.
Johnson will throw on 1st and 10. Swings it to Ajay Obashe, and he cannot get past Kendrick Whitehead. Delaware, again, doing such a great job of shoring up tackles in space. A gain of 4 that time for the running back.
Delaware's open field tackling has been terrific here this afternoon. At times we've missed, especially Rutgers, maybe the speed of Rutgers. We had some difficulties, but boy, we are really solid here this afternoon.
2nd down and 6. Johnson back to throw again. Leaves his feet to toss to Van Horst. All over it is Johnny Buchanan for the TFL.
Johnny Buchanan definitely playing his best game of the season. He's been around with his fits. That time he was assigned to the running back. He sees him release immediately. He knows it's screened. He inserts right away. He almost had a chance for an interception there. Buchanan playing at a very high level right now, reading exactly what the offense is trying to do.
Already 8 tackles in this game. He had 25 on the season coming in. James Madison with 30 seconds left in the first half, not in a hurry, on 3rd down and 10. From their own 23-yard line. 3-man pressure for Delaware. 3 wide receivers for JMU. With 19 seconds remaining, they give it to the running back, and there's Johnny on the spot. Back-to-back tackles for loss from Johnny Buchanan, and it's 4th down for the Dukes.
And because he makes that tackle, Delaware has the opportunity to use their last timeout.
Delaware,
to
30 seconds
force
timeout.
JMU to punt.
Please
You
set the
never
game
know,
clock.
man. Snap, a
14
possible
seconds.
block, or
14
maybe
seconds.
get great field position for Ryan Coe to kick a long field goal.
That was Lorenzo Bryant, the 7th year. Hopefully he's a doctor by now. Senior.
Please set the game clock
for James Madison.
14 seconds. 1,
He's in
4.
We hear you, Hank Johns. We appreciate the extra time. It was showing 12, so he wants to make sure that it shows 14.
Well, we'll take those extra 2
appreciate
seconds. Johnny Buchanan with 9 tackles, Kendrick Whitehead with 8.
Impressive stuff from both guys. What a series that was for Johnny Buchanan. Back-to-back tackles for loss there. He now is up to 3 tackles for loss on the season. And here comes Harry O'Kelly, FCS Punter of the Year watch list. So they've got a good one back there. And Towson has his feet at the Delaware 40-yard line. 14 seconds left. It's a good one, hanging high. Towson will catch it at the 41-yard line. So Delaware is one pass to Thyrick Pitts away from getting in Coe's range, possibly. No timeouts left. Well, they're showing the scoreboard showing 1 timeout left for Delaware. I believe they have no timeouts left. The scoreboard is showing 1. I believe they have none. The official score book is showing 0. There's 8 seconds left, so I believe Delaware has 0 timeouts left in the scoreboard.
And they're going to play it safe here with the lead. We're going to take a knee. We would have had to make a pass to around the 35-yard line to give Coe a realistic chance for a field goal.
So Delaware's got to be pleased with heading into the locker room with a lead over James Madison, holding the Dukes to only 3 field goals. The score is 10-9. Bill, your thoughts on the first 30 minutes?
Well, it really is the defense. Been very resilient, overcome 3 different situations with difficult field position against them. Yes, they've allowed some points, but boy, those are times when JMU or an aggressive team scores 2 or 3 touchdowns and they would have had the lead. I also think offensively we've done enough to keep them off balance. I love the aggressiveness of Zach Wynn and his relationship with Thyrick Pitts. We've done some really good things. I think Delaware's given themselves a great opportunity here. Outstanding defensive play by Buchanan, especially with those 2 consecutive TFLs. This has been a great first half for Delaware.
Healthy habits have always started at home, but now everyday actions are life-saving practices, and we're all taking extra steps to stay strong, both physically and emotionally. You've done the right things to safeguard your loved ones and the community, but what about yourself? It's your turn. Choose one of 3 convenient ways to speak with your ChristianaCare provider, because sometimes to care for others, you need to be cared for first. We're here for you, for the love of health.
It's there in his passion to teach and help his students create, and there in helping her students stay focused on a task and get it right. It's also in that moment when she accomplishes a goal she's been working on for weeks, or in that nudge of encouragement that motivates her to learn. Student success in Delaware Public Schools is built on these individual stories happening every day, and it's driven by teachers and education support professionals working together to give every student the attention they need to be successful in life.
Hi, Bill Hoffman here, President and CEO of Hoffman's Exterminating. The growth, both residentially and commercially, has been great to us, and we see another 30 years. At Hoffman's Exterminating, we believe in great partnerships. I'm here in front of the Subaru Park, home of the Philadelphia Union, a great partner of ours.
Spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
It's Buick Envision. That's a really tight spot. I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
The all-new Buick Envision, built around you, all of you. Pay no interest for 72 months. Plus, current eligible Buick owners get $250 purchase allowance on 2021 Buick SUV models.
Each and every one of us make a difference. It's what we do, it's what we think, it's what we feel, and how we cooperate, not just with one another, but also with the people on the street, which are our customers, our bread and butter. We are giving service, but we're also giving a lot more, and we get a lot more. Treat others as you wish to be treated, and after a while, you're just rolling around up and down the street with your friends.
It's time to find your next Chevy truck and forge ahead. Take on new challenges and take it to the next level. It's the perfect time to do more in your next Chevy. Find new possibilities, find new roads. Very well qualified buyers can get 2.49% financing on all 2021 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab pickups, plus get $1,500 cash allowance. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Think premium can't be capable? Think again. Introducing the first ever AT4 lineup. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC. Current eligible GMC owners get $2,500 purchase allowance on 2021 GMC Sierra Light Duty Crew Cab models when you finance through GM Financial. Think premium can't be capable? Think again. Introducing the first ever AT4 lineup. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC. Current eligible GMC owners get $2,500 purchase allowance on 2021 GMC Sierra Light Duty Crew Cab models when you finance through GM Financial. Think premium can't be capable? Think again. Introducing the first ever AT4 lineup. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC. Current eligible GMC owners get $2,500 purchase allowance on 2021 GMC Sierra Light Duty Crew Cab models when you finance through GM Financial. Think premium can't be capable? Think again. Introducing the first ever AT4 lineup. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC.
Current eligible GMC owners get $2,500 purchase allowance on 2021 GMC Sierra Light Duty Crew Cab models when you finance through GM Financial.
Think premium can't be capable? Think again. Introducing the first ever AT4 lineup. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC.
Current eligible GMC owners get $2,500 purchase allowance on 2021 GMC Sierra Light Duty Crew Cab models when you finance through GM Financial.
2 of 2 in the red zone for James Madison, but held to field goals on those 2 visits. 6 tackles for loss for James Madison, 4 for Delaware, 2 on the last series, and both by Johnny Buchanan on that last drive for the Dukes. Individually looking like this, Zach Wynn, 5 of 12, 74 yards. And James Madison's Cole Johnson, 10 of 16 for 60 yards, 7 carries for 22 yards for Latrell Palmer. Dejan Lee, 9 carries, 21 yards, leads that in that category. Gene Coleman, 2 catches for 17 yards. Pitts has a 28-yard catch, 26-yard touchdown for James Collins. His first catch. Lead receiver in the game is Percy J. Obase, who has 3 catches for 11 yards. Now it's time for the second half. Game plan. This plan is sponsored by the DE 529 Education Savings Plan. With 2 small children, saving for education is very important to my family. That's why we appreciate how easy it was to open an account with DE 529. With $50 or as little as $15 a month, you put your Delaware College Investment Plan account into action with tax advantages and flexible options for your savings at 529.delaware.com. That's our plan. What's the game plan for Delaware here in the second half, Bill?
Well, I'd tell you simply, just keep doing what we're doing. But let's get more specific. I would love to see us improve our third down offensive percentage a little bit. Now, JMU is very good at third down defense. It's a really interesting matchup there. But stay aggressive down the field. Tyron Pitts has had some matchups. He's done a nice job with some of those sophisticated double moves. He's really put pressure on the back end. And we protected Zach Wynn for the most part. Allow him to do that. Obviously, it'd be great if we could just establish our run game a little bit more. Defensively, boy, we've been unbelievably resilient, continue to tackle well, but what I really like is we've only given up 3 plays over 10 yards, the longest for 24. This is a team that really likes big plays down the field. We've negated that by playing some nice zone coverage in the back end and then rallying up to the checkdowns. Let's continue to do that, and our tackling has been terrific, and we've had some good pressure applied by Chase McGowan and others.
Well, Delaware versus James Madison. Here at Delaware Stadium, that heads got the football first. James Madison won the toss and deferred to the second half for this reason. Won the football first in the second half. A chance to get on the board to start the third quarter. They will go left to right as we see it towards what used to be the student section. That's student section in the north end zone. Behind the Bob Carpenter Center in the south end zone. General admission. So JMU with Van Horst back to return, who's been involved in the offense. Will wait the kick of Ryan Coe. Ends up 10-9. Ryan Coe's had a touchback kicking in this direction. And we'll do so again. It always looks like an outfielder watching a home run go over their head. There's not much movement when you're back there, and Ryan Coe is kicking things off. So James Madison will come back out. Cole Johnson, the quarterback, and we'll see what the Dukes can do against this Delaware defense playing some of their best football of the year.
Well, what a good luxury. Great luxury to have Ryan Coe as your kickoff man. There, you can actually choose to kick into the wind, which gives Delaware the wind in the fourth quarter, and he's able to get a touchback off of it. So that's just such a big component of Delaware's special teams. Ryan Coe, you highlighted him in the pregame show as a player to watch, and he has been excellent here this afternoon.
Little pause as James Madison slow to get to the line, but they'll start this one off at the 25-yard line, down 10-9. James Madison, 7th-ranked team in the country. Delaware, number 23. And here comes Cole Johnson throwing to the tight end. He is wrapped up right away by Liam Turner. A game of maybe 1. As Noah Turner, the senior from UNC, transfer, gets dropped.
Nothing was open down the field. He had to come to his check down. The tight end, Turner, as you mentioned, just running a very short crossing route. Well defense there, not only the tackle was also helped by Darian, who I just think has really been getting some additional reps and looks great at it.
Now started as Darian, and now Jay Obase gets another yard, but not much more as Jay Obase now 10 carries, only 23 yards rushing. Quickly it's third down and 8 yards to go.
Just as on the play before, that time Darian came down the line hard on the pinch move, and Trainer whipped over the outside to help make the play. So those two have combined for the first 2 tackles here in the second half. A little surprised that JMU isn't going up tempo.
Third down, call it 7 for James Madison. Johnson back to throw. Here comes pressure from McGowan. He throws. It's caught, running for a first down all the way up to the 44-yard line. It's Scott Bracey, the transfer from Duke University out of the ACC. And Johnson stood his ground as Chase McGowan came after him. Not easy to do, but he found the wide receiver.
Well, Johnson's a tough guy. He holds in there. Delaware has gotten some hits on him. And that time, Bracey running right to left on that low crossing route is able to catch the ball and get a nice run after the catch.
On first down, handoff is to Palmer. McGowan gets him up high. Down low is Liam Trainer. They combine for the stop after a 2-yard gain.
Well, Liam Trainer has been coming on throughout this season. Didn't get as many reps early on, got some in the spring, so that certainly helped his portfolio. And then as we've gotten into the last 2 or 3 weeks, he's been playing more, and he's been deserving to play more because his reps have been excellent. Obviously getting better in practice. Manny Rojas has got to be really happy with his development.
First drive of the second half, James Madison with the football, 2nd down and 8. And Johnson will throw. It's caught by Wells. Delaware territory down to the 35-yard line. Hill and Pulowski there on the stop. First down of this drive, the opener of the third quarter for James Madison.
It wasn't an RPO, but it was a nice little play action to hold the linebackers. And an RPO would mean that Johnson might be running the ball. He was clearly intending just with the play fake to hold the backers and hit that in-between route, which he was able to do.
Just enough to freeze Hill a bit, and the wide receiver became open. First down and 10. Palmer bouncing to the left side, hit hard as he entered an open hole. I believe that was Noah Plack who came down for the safety position to make the stop.
Pulowski sets the edge, takes on the guard who had a really nice block on him. Pulowski held his ground, and that allowed Plack to find his fit coming downhill, as you described from the safety position. He is such a sure tackler.
Plack coming into this one, all 3 games at 20 tackles in those 3 games. 9 a week ago was second most on the team, this All-CAA performer in the spring. 2nd down and 7, ball at the 32-yard line of Delaware. It'll be Palmer again, looking for some space and having a hard time finding much. Platt came up again to help make the stop. Finton Brose was there, making it difficult for Palmer as well. So 3rd down.
I really like Brose. 6'2", 280. Sophomore from Irwin, Pennsylvania, went to Hempfield High School. Does a really nice job of, from the nose tackle position, of using his hands, taking aside, and then working himself back.
Newark urgent care injury stoppage as JT Timming is down on the field. Timming, one of the veteran players we talked about in the pregame show. He and Fornadel, the veterans on this team. Fornadel not playing, and we'll give Timming some time to get up. We'll take a timeout. Your firstaidortho.com timeout score. Delaware 10, James Madison 9. They're driving. 11:49 left in quarter number 3.
Starting to fall here in the second half at Delaware Stadium. It's supposed to be the highest percentage right now until a little after 5 o'clock. We'll see how that plays out, but again, sun is gone, gloomy over top of the stadium, and the temperature is starting to drop now into the 50s with the rain on the field, guys.
All right, thank you so much, Nick. And Bill, JT Timming, somebody that we talked about in the pregame show, looking down on the field, you hope the best for a guy that's played a lot of football for James Madison and is a key part of this football team. Never want to wish injury upon anyone, whether your team or your club.
Fifth-year center, makes all the line calls. I think we'll see Stanley Hubbard, 6'4", 300-pound redshirt junior from Capitol Heights, Maryland. He's another transfer from UConn.
Yeah, a lot of transfers to this James Madison team. That's just part of the recruiting dynamic nowadays. You have to make room for players out of high school, then you have to make room for transfers, and James Madison has done it really well. Part of the reason that they've had such success at the FCS level, you're seeing guys transfer from high leagues like the ACC, Big Ten, and that's why James Madison has been at the top. And unfortunately, we are going to have JT Timming's going to get some help out of this stadium, get him to care as quickly as possible.
Well, the cart's on the field, and unfortunately, that's never a good sign. They were working on his left leg, lower body part, so we'll see what happens. But a tough loss for JMU. He's a veteran, 14 career starts, got a lot of experience, and it kind of coordinates the offensive line, especially with those other young players.
Well, as they help out JT Timming get to safety and get to some help, we will. That's good. He got up on his own. He is limping over to the cart, but that is great to see that he was able to do so with some help, seated on the cart, and that's a great sign. And some sportsmanship obviously being shown as Delaware crowd giving him some cheers. So a good sign for JT Timming. While we have a moment, Bill, just kind of recapping this game, 10-9. Delaware went up 3 early with a 51-yard field goal by Ryan Coe, and then Delaware got the score tied 3-3. Ratke with a 30-yard field goal. Delaware gave James Madison really good field position after an interception thrown by Zach Gwynn. And all that James Madison was able to do after it was a field goal. So it went 6-3 James Madison. And then Delaware a touchdown, the only touchdown of the game. Collins, a 26-yard touchdown toss from Gwynn to make the score 10-6. Ratke would add on a 47-yarder. That's how we get to 10-9. But right now, James Madison is driving. They've had some early success. What do you think, if it stays like this, how the rain might affect this game, Bill?
Well, when you're in a college football game, you're going to have the balls on the sideline covered up and being able to be brought in. They're going to switch the ball every time. So typically, unless it's a monsoon, it shouldn't affect the passing game as much as it might say at the high school level. But I think you'll see teams be a little bit more conservative. You'll probably see both teams look to run the ball a little bit more. The result of that is Delaware and JMU will probably crowd the box to make the team throw the ball. But I don't think it's raining quite hard enough for the quarterbacks to be totally effective this moment. It might affect the special teams slightly.
And a thumbs up from JT Timming as he left the field on the cart, so we wish him all the best. Cole Johnson gets a snap. There's zoom action on 2nd down and 7. And that one, I don't know if it was rain affected or not, but it was not on target for Chris Thornton in traffic. Going to be 4th down.
Well, it was interesting. JMU had 2 receivers literally on top of one another. They're Henley in great position to guard. So I think that was some miscommunication there. And again, another high throw and almost a bad snap. Of course, again, you have a new center in, and that always puts some pressure. Delaware uses a nose tackle on that and applies a little additional pressure on the center.
Ratke is 3 of 3. He'll try to make it 4 of 4 in the rain on 4th down. This one, again from 47. He's made 1 from that distance, and he'll do it again. Ethan Ratke has all the points for JMU, and they now lead once again. They count 12-10.
That's a really good operation. You were asking me about the rain. It looked like the wind was starting to swirl, rain coming down a little bit harder. So now the snapper's got to be precise, the holder's got to be precise. You've got to make sure you get those laces turned away. And obviously their operation was superb. A nice drive there for JMU to start this second half. But again, the resiliency of Delaware, bending but not breaking, good coverage down the field, kind of giving up the short plays and then rallying to it. So JMU's been taxed here to go into this early second half lead at 12-10. This is anybody's ball game at the moment.
Your Chevrolet drive summary: 9 plays, 45 yards to start off the 3rd quarter, 3:27 off the clock, and another 47-yard field goal for Ethan Ratke. He's got 2 of those, and you can see why he's one of the all-time leading scorers in FCS history. One, he's played a long time, but he's got opportunities like this. 4 of 4 today. He's the active special team player of the week, and he's on pace to get another trophy sent his way. The ensuing kickoff is in the air. Gene Coleman in the rain gets it at the 5-yard line, out of the 10, far side of the field. 20-yard line, changes direction, running wide at the 20. After he'll be brought down, multiple white jerseys in the area. We'll see Delaware offensively for the first time in the second half. Sack win 5 of 12 in the first half for 74 yards, 26-yard touchdown toss. Dejon Lee, 9 carries, 21 yards in the first 2 quarters.
Well, Pitts was the difference. He threw 2 PIs. He's also stressing the back end, forcing some double coverage. That's why Collins was so wide open. I think Zach has been really resilient. When he's had some pressure, he's climbed the pocket. He took that early sack, I think just before he had a feel for the game, but he's certainly doing enough for us here. Paoletti with 3 different opportunities in the first half, so we may see a little bit more of him in the second.
Lee will get the first carry of the drive back to the line of scrimmage. 10th carry for Lee, only 21 yards. He's been averaging 111 yards per contest over the last 4 games coming in. He had 3 straight 100-yard games. Almost got there against Stony Brook. In fact, ran for over 100 yards, but he lost yardage as well. It brought him down to 91. But James Madison's done a nice job on him so far today, the Virginia native. We're 4 minutes into the third quarter. Delaware finds himself down once again. It's 12-10 after the 4th field goal by Ethan Rackey. In motion goes Van Damia. Quinn again gets the lead. This time he had a hole, but it closed quickly. Great pursuit that time. I believe it was Diamante Tucker Dorsey who came in and made the stop. He had 45 coming in, the second team all CAA selection in the spring.
Steven Brown did a great job as our left guard to seal off Mike Green, their terrific D tackle, nose tackle type player, but then Dorsey came just explosively down the line of scrimmage to make an outstanding tackle. He's really a good player, short tackler, good fits, understands exactly where he's supposed to be in their defense.
It's 3rd down for Delaware, 7 to go from their own 24-yard line, trips to the right side. In motion from right to left is Mateo Van Damia. Dejon Lee is the running back. Win, the quarterback gets his snap. Here comes pressure. Hit as he throws high for Gene Coleman. And incomplete. Pressure was coming. Chris Chukwunecki got to Gwynn. And then a throw high to Gene Coleman as he was covered up as well. So a 3 and out to start the second half.
They used Chukwunecki last week in some blitz situations throughout the game against Richmond. He is really savvy, knows how to fit off the edge. Did a nice job there of pressuring Zach, and I think that throw, he was throwing that ball away. Coleman very well covered there, but Pitts drew single coverage out on the perimeter.
Now in the rain, Pastula has to get it off, barely does. Good pressure from James Madison. It lands at the JMU 42-yard line, is down by Anthony Toro at the 39. It'll be James Madison football as they go 9 plays, 45 yards. Delaware goes 3 plays, 3 yards to start the third quarter.
Boy, that was a terrific get-off by Tyler Pastula, the punter. He was getting extreme pressure, and he could see it and feel it coming. Did a nice job just with a quick 1 step to launch it low into a wind. I thought that was a great job by Pastula. Coach Legg, special teams coordinator, has got to be very happy with Pastula's improvement.
1st and 10 for Ajayi Obuse, who gets to the 42-yard line, gain of 3 on 1st down.
A team of tacklers there for Delaware. Artis Hemingway, Pulowski, Johnny Buchanan, we've called his name a number of times here. So Delaware, again, doing a good job of getting a lot of bodies around this run game. They have actually, I think, won the battle up front against this young offensive line now that they're missing the veteran center.
Jay Obuse with his 12th carry of the game. This time on 2nd down and 7. Going to be 3rd down and 7. When he got anywhere. So they're feeding the rock. The 5th-year senior from Oakdale High School, preseason All-American coming into the year after being a stats performing first-team All-American in the spring. Now 3rd down, they're giving 3rd down and 6 to the 43, and Delaware asking for some noise for the crowd that is left here at Delaware Stadium. That has not left, I should say. That is left in the building because it is raining pretty hard here in Newark. And a 3rd down try for JMU. Cole Johnson looking left. Here comes pressure. Throws, and it's knocked away by Kendrick Whitehead. He got his right hand on the football, swatted to the turf, because Chris Thornton was the intended target.
But without Colby Reeder, who we still have that sophisticated blitz where we do the nose tackle to one side, then an overlap with the two backers into the face of the quarterback. Palmer and Liam Trainer did a great job of getting pressure. Nice coverage downfield. I love that NASCAR unit. Morris at nose tackle, Toro and McGowan at the defensive ends, and then we bring pressure.
It's going to be a difficult punt to catch here for Jordan Towson. A very talented punter is back for James Madison on 4th down. End over red, and Towson going to let it bounce. It'll take a JMU hop from the 20 inside the 10. That was a beautiful punt, and Towson stayed away from it. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, it'll be Delaware football. 8:37 left in the third. Your FirstAtOrtho.com timeout score: JMU 12, Delaware 10.
B-Dubs has
Healthy habits have always started at home, but now everyday actions are life-saving practices, and we're all taking extra steps to stay strong, both physically and emotionally. You've done the right things to safeguard your loved ones and the community, but what about yourself? It's your turn. Choose one of 3 convenient ways to speak with your ChristianaCare provider, because sometimes to care for others, you need to be cared for first. We're here for you, for the love of health.
It's there in his passion to teach and help his students create, and there in helping her students stay focused on a task and get it right. It's also in that moment when she accomplishes a goal she's been working on for weeks, or in that nudge of encouragement that motivates her to learn. Student success in Delaware Public Schools is built on these individual stories happening every day, and it's driven by teachers and education support professionals working together to give every student the attention they need to be successful in life.
Hi, Bill Hoffman here, President and CEO of Hoffman's Exterminating. The growth, both residential
was pumped. Mark your calendar for June 17, 2022. Visit gmrc.org for more information. Alongside Bill Harmon here in the third quarter. Delaware with the football back down 12 to 10, 8:37 left to go. Delaware's defense, just as they were a week ago, doing a great job this afternoon.
We bent but not broken. Good job with our coverage, our hits up front, some excellent blitz schemes. Our sub package has done well, and I understand why Towson didn't catch the ball. The rain was really coming down. The wind is very tricky at that end. He just didn't want to take a chance because that kick was high enough that JMU had excellent coverage.
Paoletti now as the quarterback as this drive will start at the Delaware 10-yard line. Joey Bruno is the running back. Paoletti under pressure, going to lose yardage back to the 6. And that was the man we were talking about moments ago defensively for James Madison. Diamante Tucker Dorsey on the stop. Also Mike Green there as well.
Green is really explosive. That time he just took an angle inside, was able to avoid the blocker and get into the backfield. Those are the TFLs that we talked about earlier in the show that JMU is so well known for.
And that was Green, in fact, 2020 Defensive Player of the Year in the conference. Second down and 13 for the Hens. Gwynn out of the end zone, dumps it off to Dejon Lee, who dropped the football. Even if he caught it, they would have lost a couple yards. So an incomplete pass makes it third down and 13.
Well, Zach Gwynn was under some severe pressure off the edge, an unblocked free rusher. Sometimes your scheme, you have a free rusher and the quarterback's just got to throw off of that, but JMU did a nice job of rallying. And this is a third down defense that up into this game has only yielded 23% on third down. And today Delaware is 2 for 8 in this situation.
Third down, Hens need 13 yards. They're going to give it to Lee, who will get 2 or 3 of those yards needed. That time I'm right. I know it was Tucker Dorsey, number 2 on the tackle. And we'll see Tyler Pastula for the third time today, punting out of his own end zone. 7:45 left in the third.
Well, it's so important our center, Jake Reed, on this. He's been very accurate and has had good velocity today, which has allowed Pastula to get these kicks off so deep in his territory. Pastula just always, when you're that deep in your own end zone, have to be careful you never back up. As hit the end zone, it would result in a safety.
Oh, that one nearly blocked. They might have got a piece of that as it bounces at the 34-yard line. Takes a Delaware hop back to the 40, but I don't know if that one was touched by James Madison. Maybe the leg of Pastul on the way down. There was some big-time pressure, and the football obviously didn't go very far to the 40-yard line. I have to see a replay to see if James Madison did get it blocked, but it did move forward. And we'll get a look at it here at the stadium scoreboard. And I don't know if anybody blocked it. Closest man to it was Jalen Walker. I think it was just a short punt by Pastula under some pressure. So again, James Madison, really solid field position to start a drive. This time they start up 12-10 from Delaware's 40-yard line. Johnson looks left, throws right, bobbled but caught at the 31-yard line. Zubalaga, amongst others, trying to bring the big tight end down, but too many need to come over to help. And big Drew Painter gets the first down yardage. Drew Painter, the younger brother of Delaware star center Dylan Painter. And hobbling off the field is Drew Painter. We're looking forward to basketball season coming up on November 9th. Delaware will start off the season at Davidson, one of the favorites to win the conference this year.
Those must have been some huge battles in the backyard between Drew and Dylan. A tough guy. It took 6 guys of Delaware to actually bring him down.
Box out drills in the Painter backyard as play resumes. It's a second down run for about 5. And that's been one of the differences in this game. James Madison, well, they haven't had any big running plays. They've gotten 4. They've gotten 5. They set up second down and 5. Second down and 6. Here we are with another second 5. They've been ahead of the sticks as they've put together these drives.
Yes, but I think Delaware's done a nice job of playing their scheme, getting their linebackers, getting their safeties downhill so they're not giving up the big play and really forcing JMU to be very disciplined here.
24-yard line at second down and 5. Man goes in motion. They'll fake the speed sweep. Johnson hit by Struthers as he throws over the tight end over the middle, and it falls incomplete with pressure that time by the junior.
Delaware typically is bringing interior stunts or relying on McGowan and others off the edge, but that time they bring Struthers on a blitz from the boundary. Johnson didn't see or feel him till late. He got great pressure, and that resulted in the incompletion. A nice dial-up weak side blitz from the boundary. We've used Nigel Hill in that situation in the past as well.
JMU 6 of 14 on third down. They'll have another one here. Third down and 5. Delaware 24-yard line, trips to the left side. Johnson throws high. It's batted around and intercepted by Amante Struthers.
That's been the issue with Johnson today. His misses have been high. The ball's tipped up. That's always a problem on those crossing routes. And Struthers, who I have always really liked in terms of his potential for big plays, comes off the edge, creates pressure. Then he has great trail technique on the crossing route and intercepts the ball after the tip. So Struthers always seems to be around making a play. He had the interception, as you mentioned, up in Rhode Island in a big moment. He's really improving every game.
Second interception in 3 weeks for Amante Struthers, the 6'1", 195-pound junior from Homestead, Pennsylvania. Gets the football back for Delaware. Can they take advantage? The feed to Dejan Lee gets him started. A gain of 2 up to the 26-yard line. 5:48 left in the third quarter of action. And one play by Amante Struthers to get the turnover. That's the Delaware defense we saw in the spring where they were taking the football away. Delaware's got to do something with it, though, now as they trail by 2, 12-10. Have not moved the football much here in the second half as of yet. Anthony Paoletti is the quarterback. Empty backfield. Now in motion goes Dejan Lee. High snap. Paoletti going to run it himself. Has some room. Gets to the 30-yard line. And it'll be third down and 4 for Delaware.
Well, Delaware did not use Anthony Paoletti much last week. Coach Rocco talked about it. We talked about it ourselves. That's the 5th time he's been on the field in those situations with a couple carries. They've been doing some other stuff, and I think that's really smart, not always having Paoletti carry the ball when he's in.
Paoletti sends Thyron Pitts in motion on third down and 4 from their own 30 after the interception by Struthers. Paoletti going to try to run for it himself. He's going to be 2 yards shy. So 3 plays and 4th down coming up for Delaware, as it seems like they will not be able to take advantage of this stop as James Madison was driving towards the red zone. Struthers got the pick on third down, and Delaware gives it right back up to the Dukes.
And that was Tucker Dorsey again. He just is an incredible athlete. He's got great vision, runs side to side. As a linebacker, you've got to be able to move laterally. Everybody talks about downhill and all that. You've got to be able to slide side to side and make plays. He is exceptional at that.
Pastula on 4th down, clean or release this time, and it's a good one for Tyler Pastula. Sends Robo back, and he calls for the fair catch at around the 14-yard line, where James Madison will come back out on offense with 4:05 remaining in the third quarter, up by 2. So a nice job that time by Pastula.
Pastula's got to feel great. He had room. He was actually had 15 yards to work with there. A nice snap, 4.1 on the hang. Excellent job by Tyler Pastula, who has really worked hard on improving what we call get-off. That's the time when he catches the ball to when it's launched off his toe, and he has improved that by a couple tenths of a second, and that's the difference between getting the block or not. He's also had excellent hang time here this afternoon.
53 yards on the punt by Pastula. Maybe the fall is better at Acme, whether you're watching a game, tailgating, or putting together school lunches. Acme has everything you need. Acme Fresh Foods, local flavor. First down and 10 for James Madison from their own 14-yard line. Ajay Obase gets tangled up near the line of scrimmage, a gain of 1.5 for the senior.
JMU continues to probe the middle with that inside zone, and Jordan Morris and others have been really up to the task. The linebackers have been able to cheat in because the short passing game hasn't hurt Delaware. Anthony Toro also had a nice edge set there to force the ball back inside to Morris and the linebackers.
28 rushes for James Madison, 24 pass attempts. Pretty balanced for the Duke's attack. Second down and 8. And another high toss to an open receiver. That time Antoine Wells was at the 30-yard line, had to jump to get it. And Pulowski's been playing some really good football today. Made sure he couldn't come down with a reception. Johnson, as we said several times, missing high to his target.
That's his 5th miss high. Again, that long-arm throw is probably a result of it. Delaware showed a field blitz with Kendrick Whitehead, but then bailed out, and I think that's what got Johnson's eyes over into the boundary, into good coverage by Delaware.
Johnson, 15 touchdowns, only 1 interception coming into this one. Good interception in the last drive. Now it's 3rd down and 8. Johnson would look to throw again over the middle, and a huge hit by Noah Platt at the 25-yard line. It sails incomplete. What a job by our safety.
Thornton gets up, who is their really good possession slot receiver, runs a lot of low crossing routes. He took a big hit there from Black. And I like what Black did. As soon as he made the hit, he felt his instincts to maybe stay over the player and say something. He got right up away and turned away. That's exactly the right way to handle yourself there to avoid a penalty. But a big-time play by Noah Platt. That will give a lot of memories to any crossers. Be careful when you run in there against Noah Platt.
Now a chance for Delaware to get set up with solid field position. The punt on its way, waving for it right at midfield is Jordan Towson. He bobbled it to the ground, but secured it at the Delaware 48-yard line. So Delaware solid defensively, back-to-back possessions. The Delaware offense, though, has not been able to take advantage. That's the story we found ourselves in last week on Long Island. Delaware defense getting some stops, and Delaware's offense, though, giving it right back to their opponent. We'll see what happens on this drive as it'll be Anthony Paoletti to start.
Well, Delaware's winning the field position battle. Gingrich in at center. They've been going back and forth from Prince. I like the fact Paoletti's being used a little bit more now. I think they may have a couple different twists in this offense. Jared Ambrose, the offensive coordinator, really getting creative.
And it's going to be Paoletti on first down. Get into James Madison territory at the 49. A gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7 yards to go.
Time-consuming runs, downhill, stress JMU's defense, hit the ball across midfield, give us good field position. I think this game is going to probably hinge on maybe a big penalty, a big special teams play, a turnover, takeaway for a big play. Both teams playing this very close to the vest here.
Delaware looking to get over 100 yards total offense. They're at 96 on the day. Only 177 for the high-powered offense of James Madison. Gwynn in trouble, and the pocket just collapsed. The ball came loose at the JMU 45-yard line. And JMU came up with it. Was Zach Gwynn down? I don't believe so. James Madison football as Zach Gwynn coughs it up in the second half of the second week in a row.
Well, they brought some pressure. Gwynn was holding the ball, trying to get somebody open. Chuck Winnecki is in there, I think, to grab the ball off the ground. He comes out of the pile with it. their excellent edge defender. So a tough play there gives JMU that field position we were talking about on an unfortunate takeaway. I couldn't tell if the ball was stripped or just the contact forced him to drop the ball.
He was hit pretty hard as if there was just no space there. The pocket collapsed and down went Zach Gwynn. Out came the football. They gave Tucker Dorsey, I believe, the strip sack. And you were right on who recovered it. Now on the ensuing play, Chase McGowan gets his sack for Delaware. Excuse me. That was Tommy Walsh on the sack. Cole Johnson goes down. That JMU territory at the 46. The defense pumped up. Nice play there by Walsh.
Tommy Walsh runs the rim from the right side, dips in, rips, gets by the left tackle. Excellent coverage downfield. Forced Johnson to hold the ball to let the sack occur by Nigel Hill, who was running with a deep crossing route. They were trying to take a shot in the end zone on a sudden change play.
Second sack of the day, that first from Tommy Walsh. Here's Johnson, room to run as he steps up in the pocket, and he will do so to the 45-40 and down all the way to the 35-yard line. I think he got all 18. He was second down at 18 after the sack. And it'll be close. If it's not a first down, it'll be third down and less than a yard.
6'5", 215. He kind of reminds me of Tom Brady the way he runs, but he really made a nice play there. He had a good run on Belly Reed earlier in the game for 13 this time, being able to scramble out of the pocket. Delaware was very deep with the receivers, broke kind of a tackle and then fell forward.
Whitehead made the stop 1 yard shy of the marker, so it's third down and a yard after a 17-yard run by Cole Johnson. JMU needs 1. It'll be Johnson again, fooling everybody. And for the second time this season at Delaware Stadium, a quarterback will fool this Delaware defense and walk into the end zone. A touchdown by James Madison, their first of the day.
He showed a little bit more speed on that play. I think he was holding something back. That's the zone read. He stares at the right defensive end who comes hard down the line to handle the zone on third and short. He pulls the ball. Delaware's off in coverage. He's able to make an outstanding play, and that's the big play of the game so far to me. Took advantage of field position. A couple great runs by the quarterback, who's known for his accuracy and his deep throws. Now he is making some great plays with his feet.
And the extra point is good to make this one 19-10. James Madison on top. Your Chevrolet drive summary. Only 3 plays, 45 yards, taking up 127 off the clock, and James Madison taking advantage of Delaware's turnovers. And I referenced the second time this season, if you remember, in week 1 against St. Francis, it was a 60-yard, I believe, touchdown on the almost the exact same play.
Well, when you commit people off the edge to try to stop the short yardage plays, you leave yourself susceptible. That's a little bit what happened, but in a different way. Against Stony Brook last week, we were caught in cover 0 in the initial play. We didn't have anybody deep. That time, the running back Walton was able to string it up the middle. This time, just taking advantage of the aggressiveness of Delaware's defense to pull the ball and run off the edge that was totally undefended.
One of your keys, Bill, no big plays, and that was the biggest so far in this contest. A 36-yard touchdown by Cole Johnson. And you look at last week, a big play, 99-yard run to start things off. And talk about that St. Francis big play. There's just been some high yardage touchdowns against Delaware this season. And now the kickoff. Coleman's been busy today, returning this time from the far side of the field at the 5, the 15, 20-yard line. Got some space to the 27, now 30-yard lines where Delaware's offense will come out. Under a minute left in the third quarter. And the Hens have to show that they can move the football on this drive.
Well, this is when a defense like JMU's really feeds on it. They'll crowd the box. They'll take away the run. They want to pressure Gwynn. The only thing they really haven't done is truly double covered Thyroid Pitts every time. And that does leave them vulnerable. They're counting on their nice rolled coverage to him, or maybe playing a little bit of press man. But at some point, Delaware's got to take advantage of that. Or the other option would be to move Pitts a little bit in motion and then try to get him open that way.
54 seconds left in the third as Delaware snaps at 1st and 10 from their own 30. Brose goes in motion. Gwynn high snap. Fakes the give to Lee, and another miscommunication between Gwynn and Thyroid Pitts as he lobs it 20 yards over his head and incomplete. Delaware in the third quarter has gone 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 2 plays and a fumble back to James Madison. So They led 10-9 at the half, but have shown no signs here in the second of being able to move it against this Duke's defense.
Well, the difference is in this half, JMU's defense is being much more aggressive. I thought they kind of sat back and were just kind of playing their normal areas. They gave Pitts a lot of room. Now they're playing him much more aggressively, and they're inserting more people at the line of scrimmage and pressuring Gwynn.
Gwynn takes a shotgun snap, being pressured again, runs up, gains 1. Eludes the sack, but sets Delaware up for 3rd down and 9. This will be the final snap of the third quarter coming up as the play clock and the game clock looking identical.
And these are the kind of situations that an outstanding defense that JMU has feeds on. They get these 3rd and long. They get the team, I hate to use the term off schedule, but they got them off schedule. Delaware took a shot early on. Zach Gwynn threw it away. Now you get in 3rd and long. This is when they can play some double coverage.
And another miscommunication. We saw this at the end of the Stony Brook game where things went sideways very quickly.
False start. Offense, number 64. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
And the call is against Ben Trent. His movement sent the more obvious call, which was Jordan Towson sprinting up the field. He was looking at the tackle and started to move. And so again, you hurt yourself. You have 3rd down and 9 or 3rd down and 8, which becomes 3rd down and 13. Delaware again, 5th possession. They have not been able to have more than 3 plays on a drive in this third quarter. This will be the final play of the third. Gwynn throwing high and out of bounds as Haverstrom was streaking to James Madison territory at the 40. So we'll take a break as we head into the fourth quarter. Things are going to have to change quickly for Delaware. They have lost all momentum that they had bringing into the locker room. We'll take a timeout. YourFirstAidOrtho.com. Timeout score. Fourth quarter, going to start with a Tyler Pastula punt as Delaware lines up again, 3 and out. 3 and out 4 times in that third quarter, and also an additional 2 and out as they lost the football on a fumble. So Pastula gets this one away. He had a 53-yard punt last time out. This one a good one as well. Caught at the 20-yard line and running wide. James Madison Soroba into traffic at the 30. Spins and a 10-yard return to the 30-yard line for James Madison. I'm Scott Glatz alongside Bill Harbin here in the EDIS broadcast booth built by EDS Building. What matters? And right now what matters for Delaware is getting off the field, getting the offense back out there, and trying to get some points on the board because Delaware's defense prior to that 36-yard run by Cole Johnson, really had been holding James Madison in check, under 200 yards for the day. But Delaware offensively still under 100 yards of total offense.
Well, that's a very tough defense that JMU has, and they've been loading the box, taking away the run game, and making Delaware a little bit too one-dimensional.
Palmer is the back. He's been splitting pretty evenly with the Jay Obase, and he gets a yard to the 29, maybe no gain to the 30. It's been Palmer and a Jay Obase. 13 carries for Jay Obase, 12 for Palmer, so almost as even as you can get on 25 carries.
No, I think Delaware's played excellent defense. This is a very balanced attack that JMU has. They really rely on a lot of different players. Obviously, their quarterback has made a couple outstanding plays here in the second half.
Johnson looking to make another one. Finds an open man. Palmer catches it running backwards. Stays in bounds, or did he? As he advanced the ball up towards midfield. They will say he stepped out at the 42-yard line, kind of backpedaling and stepping out of bounds on his team's sideline.
As Andrew Pulowski rallied to Palmer over in the left flat, unfortunately, he was running so hard he carried himself out of bounds and ran into the stakes, the down markers, and got himself a little dinged up. He'll have to leave the field. Struthers was already in. They were playing some nickel with him.
13:58 fourth quarter, a 9-point advantage for James Madison. Play action. Johnson wants it all. Looking downfield and incomplete thanks to Kedrick Whitehead at the 20. His second pass breakup of the day. Chris Thornton was the target down the field.
Well, Thornton kind of known for his underneath route running. That time he had a takeoff route, free release down the field. Whitehead with excellent one-on-one coverage, reaches back with his left arm just to tip the ball away. A pretty good throw by Johnson, but just better coverage by Whitehead.
Johnson 15 of 28 after that one, 119 yards of passing. And on second down, he'll release inaccurately to Reggie Brown on the far sideline. Nigel Hill in cover.
Well, for a guy that's 70% on the season and a lot of experience, he has been a little off target. Probably not his best game, but he's made some outstanding plays with his feet, a little surprising. And when you can put your quarterback in play with the run game, that's that extra player that it's very hard to defend. And he's been outstanding on 3 different runs today. The scramble, the pull for the touchdown, and an earlier pull of 13 yards on the zone read.
Lorenzo Bryant is the back on 3rd down and 10. Rhode Island transfer who's played against Delaware over the last couple of seasons. Johnson not going to give it to him, though. He'll throw. Well, give it to him on the throw. Dropped at the 45-yard line. Coming over late was Nigel Hill to make sure it was incomplete. Good job defensively. And broken record put me on repeat. Great job defensively, Delaware. Now the offense has to do something. Here we are again.
That was Chase McGowan coming from his right defensive end position, working against a redshirt freshman, Tyler Stevens, who's thought to be one of the better young upcoming left tackles in the league, and he just ran the rim on him and had great pressure on Johnson, forced to throw that ball inaccurately.
Harry O'Kelly has been busy. He'll punt again. This one high, waving for it at the 20 as Jordan Townsend backpedals to get it at the 17-yard line. And Delaware's offense will come out on the field. 92 yards total in this game. And we're at 13:35 left in the fourth quarter. So the Hens have also coughed it up, given a fumble to James Madison. They have thrown an interception in this game, but still find themselves only down by 9. But they've got to get this lead closer here on this drive.
I think they're really competing and battling. The key is they've got to get some better first and second down plays, because of this JMU defense is geared for not allowing you to get a first down on 3rd and long, and Delaware's 2 for 11 in 3rd down situations.
Dejan Lee not going to start off the way that Delaware fans would hope, going backwards. 6-yard now. They'll mark him at the 13, but a loss of 3 for Dejan Lee. Lee, 14 carries, 23 yards on the day. He's been held in check, averaging under 2 yards per carry.
Sometimes even a great runner like Lee just doesn't have any opportunities to find a seam and take. JMU is really sturdy up front. They almost have a couple two-gappers, and that allows those linebackers to swim down the line of scrimmage and make plays.
Gwynn throwing. DeMalley dives for it. What a grab by the tight end. It's going to be 2 yards shy of the first down marker, but what hands by Bryce DeMalley, his 6th catch of the season for the second team All-CAA tight end.
I really like Damali. He's a great route runner. He's got wonderful hands. He's got sneaky speed. We've seen him being used in speed sweep situations. Damali's a big-time playmaker. We probably need to target him at times a little bit more.
In motion, Brose from left to right on 3rd down and 2. Delaware needs this in the worst way. Coleman down the field. It's incomplete, broken up. Solid coverage by M.J. Hampton. And Delaware needed 2. They threw the ball about 25 yards in the air. And it'll be 4th down and 2. Another 3 and out. Delaware has not had a first down in the second half.
They run the play fake. JMU comes with some pressure off the edge. Excellent coverage by M.J. Hampton, the 5th-year senior from Fredericksburg. Was all over in coverage there. Was not a bad throw, just better defense.
Tyler Pastula out again. Pastula gets this one away, low, and it'll bounce at the 38-yard line. Takes a Delaware roll. Pulowski and Dalen Darien both back, and they'll down it at the 25-yard line. 12-10 remaining in the 4th quarter of action. James Madison up 19-10, and I would think this would be the time for a immediate timeout, but it looks like we're going to stay here, Bill. Keeping us off guard as well, you know?
Happy to talk to you, Scotty, in these situations.
So instead, I'll remind our listeners that nothing beats the power and excitement of live events like TicketSmarter. For all the best sports, concerts, and theater events, visit TicketSmarter.com or on the app. TicketSmarter is proud to be the official ticket resale partner of the Blue Hens. TicketSmarter, a smarter way to buy tickets. 1st down and 10 for James Madison. He'll start this drive at the 25-yard line, up by 9. And it'll be Percy J. Obuse getting to the 28-yard line. 12 minutes and ticking here in the final quarter of this ball game. 19-10. Delaware just has not been able to do anything offensively in the second half.
Delaware does a wonderful job of disguising their coverages, and their linebackers move around. That time, Ramonte Struthers, who's in for Justice Henley just for a brief series here at left cornerback, did a nice job of bluffing off, forcing the ball to be handed off.
Jay Obuse with some speed to the 31-yard line. It'll now be 3rd down and 4 for James Madison. Delaware defensively, another chance to force a 3 and out.
Well, without the veteran center who was injured early in the game, JMU has still not been able to get that push to allow Obije and Palmer to really get any momentum on the inside zone. But they've been so good at stopping that has opened up those outside edge runs by the quarterback, Johnson.
3rd down and 3 for James Madison. 2 wide receivers to the left side. Palmer is the running back, and he'll get the rock. Has some space. 1st down and a whole lot more to midfield into Delaware territory at the 44. The biggest gain of the day for Palmer, and he converts on 3rd down.
They're running behind a very young right side. Cole Potts, a redshirt freshman, and Tyler Negrone did a nice job there of blocking at the point of attack. That's really the first seam that's developed for JMU inside the tackle box all afternoon.
I agree. That's the most space James Madison running back has had in this football game. Up by 9, 10:34 ticking 3rd quarter. 1st down, and it'll be Palmer again, this time getting to the 38-yard line. And how many times have we said 2nd down and 5, 2nd down and 4? That's what it'll be this time around for JMU.
And that seems now that maybe that JMU front's beginning to win that battle up there. Delaware's done a nice job of fighting off blocks. Both Black and Whitehead were down at the same time to make that tackle. So when your safeties are forced to make those plays at 5, 6, 7 yards, your linebackers have to be able to fit in a little bit more aggressively. JMU seems to be winning that battle up front at the moment.
2nd down and 4 in Delaware territory at the 38. Palmer again. They're working him on this drive as he gets to the 35-yard line. Buchanan, another tackle. And I say that not to say that Delaware's not doing a great job defensively, because they really have been in this football game, holding James Madison in check. But just the difference of one offense to the other in this contest. 3rd down a yard. JMU working quickly. Palmer trying to get there. Stays up as long as he can. Reaching, trying to get his body to that 34-yard line. And it'll depend on the spot. He was brought backwards and eventually tackled at the 36-37 area, but I believe momentum might have carried him far enough for a 1st down. Either way, you'd think 4th and inches that JMU might give it a try. Don't measure here.
Jordan Morris did a terrific job at nose tackle, angling there, setting it up, allowed Buchanan and Whitehead to get in and around the ball. JMU will go fast at certain times on 3rd and short.
And they gave him the first down, so no measurement, no anything. James Madison, fresh set of downs. In motion goes Thornton. Give this to Jay Obase, spinning off one would-be tackler and picking up 4 to the 30.
That is the 69th offensive play for JMU. Delaware's got 47, so that 22-plus begins to take a toll, especially late in the game. And let's not forget, Delaware's missing some of their sturdy defensive linemen. No Hall, no Frank Burton. Need to get him back. And, of course, Nick Hoomer is out for the season with that unfortunate knee injury at Rutgers.
Nichols, Reeder, the list goes on and on, but you're right on the defensive line there, missing some bodies. 2nd down and 6 now. Jay Obase brought down by Walsh at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 6 for James Madison. JMU 20 third downs in this game. They've converted on 9 of them.
I think this has really been an outstanding defensive effort, resiliency by Manny Rojas and Danny Rocco's defense. I mean, we've had field position against us, a multitude of more plays from JMU's offense, a really talented offensive team who's got great balance, so it's hard to key on one thing. I think Delaware is really hanging in there, and they just need to find a way to get off the field here.
3rd down and 6. Give this to Jay Obase, and that second effort got him the first down. Or no, it's going to be a yard shy. He was hit about 5 yards prior to where he fell to the turf, but that big effort by Jay Obase got him the 25-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and a yard, and they're going to give Ratke a try to add to his total.
Obase at only 205, runs with a lot of forward lead. He keeps his legs going. He's 6 feet, but he has a low center of gravity, and that affords him to bounce off some tacklers. JMU short a player here on their field goal protection unit. Now they have it equalized.
This one going to be from 42 yards. It's going to be a fake, it looks like, as Miller, the holder, steps up to the line trying to get Delaware to jump. They do not. And as the play clock was running down, JMU will.
First time out of the half. James Madison, 30-second timeout.
Call the timeout. That's something that Alex Miller has done before. He faked a field goal for an 11-yard gain at New Hampshire. He faked a field goal for a 7-yard touchdown at William & Mary last season. So that's something that Delaware might have seen, might have planned for, and trying to get Delaware to jump and give James Madison the first down there, but some discipline shown by that Delaware defensive line.
I like the ingenuity of JMU. They do a lot of different things on special teams. They must have spent a lot of time on it. Their kickoff coverage is a little different. They use a motion man on their punt, and here they rush up. But Delaware had great discipline. Coach Legg clearly schooled them on that. They were ready for any sort of sneak or even outside run. So Delaware did a great job here. Now they're going to line up. Now you always have to be a little careful. Sometimes they fake that, and they might have another way to fake, but I think they're going to try to kick the field goal here.
Davis will snap to Miller. Hold is down. Ratke for the 5th time today knocks it through. What a day he is having. Ethan Ratke, 90 field goals in his career. And your firstaidortho.com timeout score. James Madison 22, Delaware 10, 7:04 left on homecoming weekend.
Spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat. Ooh, yeah, that's nice.
Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
It's Buick Envision. That's a really tight spot. I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
The all-new Buick Envision, built around you, all of you. Pay no interest for 72 months. Plus, current eligible Buick owners get $250 purchase allowance on 2021 Buick SUV models.
the schedule.
So JMU, it's been all JMU here in the second half. Delaware only has 16 yards of offense in the second half. James Madison trailed 10-9 at the break. They now lead 22-10. And the kickoff, Delaware return going north to south. Jordan Townsend going to get it for the 9-yard line. 15 stumbles before the 20-yard line. He gets to the 22-yard line. Let's check in with Nick Allison-Drini, who's on the sideline.
Thanks, Scott. And obviously, backup quarterback Zach Wynn in the ballgame today for Delaware. But that has been a unique trend for JMU and their opposition. Last week against Richmond, they were forced to use, Richmond was to use their second, third, and fourth string quarterbacks. And earlier in the season, the Dukes beat Maine after knocking out Black Bear starter Joe Fagnano in the first quarter. Then they picked up victories over Weber State and New Hampshire, which each had to use reserve quarterbacks. And JMU all wins in those ball games and racked up 14 total sacks. So an interesting trend there is JMU getting a lot of games this season against backup quarterbacks, guys.
Yeah, you're right, Nick. Thank you so much for that. And it is interesting. James Madison, a great team nonetheless, but sometimes you need to catch the right breaks throughout the year. And James Madison, it's just more interesting than anything else. There's not been a starting quarterback that's played against the Dukes. 22-10 is the count here. There was a penalty after the return by Jordan Townsend, which moves Delaware backwards to the 11-yard line.
Well, JMU's done a nice job with those intentional short kickoffs. Delaware has not fair caught them. They've been trying to return them. That, unfortunately, sometimes leaves you short of where you would normally get it on a fair catch.
Gwynn to Lee on the screen pass, running quickly across the 15 up to the 17-yard line. A gain of 8 on first down. And now a flag is thrown again as James Madison and Delaware, maybe some jawing. There was a play over. Ended up at the sideline of Delaware, and the flag came very late on the play. 6:51 remaining. I didn't see a penalty during the play. We'll
Personal foul. Illegal hands in the face. Defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic. First down.
Break for Delaware there. Penalty, the fourth against James Madison. They had 3 for 35 yards in the first half. And this is the first penalty in the second half for James Madison. I was watching the runner. It didn't occur against Dejan Lee. It was away from the play.
It was, and Gene Coleman had a terrific crackback block that allowed that play to occur out to the perimeter, which we've talked about. He and Pitts are both very willing and capable blockers.
Damali in motion on 1st and 10 after the penalty. Ball moved up to the 34-yard line. Gwynn throwing over the middle and intercepted. And a return to the 45-yard line. That's the third turnover of the day for Zach Gwynn. 2 interceptions. He also lost a fumble. It was Greg Ross who got it. I thought Thyrick Pitts had a pass breakup and would have made it not an interception for James Madison. He kind of knocked away from the defender, but when he tipped it, it went to a different JMU defender as Thyrick Pitts was double teamed there. So the cornerback, I believe, that was guarding Pitts, because Pitts got his hand on it, wasn't able to get the INT, but when the pass was tipped out of Pitts' hands, the secondary defender was able to grab it, and another turnover for Delaware, who has just not been able to show anything offensively in this second half.
Ross was the deeper coverage man there, and he was the beneficiary of the tip ball, which might have just been on Thyrick Pitts' trail shoulder. He was running that deep post, trying to take a shot down the field. A great blitz pickup there by Dejan Lee, too. A lot of things really well happened. Zach had time, just misconnected downfield, trying to take a shot to get back in the game.
Gwynn's got 6 interceptions now. He's lost 2 fumbles, turnovers piling up for Zach Gwynn, the redshirt junior from Wilmington, Sally's high school, transfer from ECU, but things have not gone his way or Delaware's way since Nolan Henderson has gone out for what we believe is the season. And another case here today against James Madison. 3 takeaways by this Dukes defense. And now, after a run of 5 yards by Latrell Palmer, gets the 38-yard line.
We'll see JMU's offense take their time here. They're a very intelligent team, very disciplined. They're letting the clock run down under 5 seconds of the possession clock before they snap the ball, obviously trying to shorten the game up and not allow Delaware to have any opportunity to get back in this game. These are what good teams do. They know how to manage a lead. They know how to play with it. They make enough of the requisite plays, and then every now and then they come up with a big takeaway as on that play.
3rd down and 4 for James Madison, the 22nd 3rd down of the day for the Dukes. And they're going to be stopped at the line of scrimmage. And, you know, you look at this defense, and James Madison averages 450 yards of offense, 38 points per game. And here they are, 22 points. They've got 289 yards of offense. You hold James Madison in check like that defensively, you just hope that you play enough on the other side of the football to put yourself in a position to win, and unfortunately that's just not the case for that.
Well, you described it great. I think Danny Rocco, Manny Rojas, and the entire program's got to be really proud of the effort. It is really hard to win when you don't have your starting quarterback in. At times, the offense looks like we're on track, and then other times we don't. It's really difficult, but let's not also forget this is also one of the best defenses in FCS that JMU puts out there. A lot of really fine players.
Offense, number 12.
James Madison takes penalty, just trying to run this game
Still
out.
4th down.
And Bill, and I appreciate that, but you got to get more than 16 yards in the second half. You just do. You can't win a football game with 16 yards in the second half.
I'm not going to argue that point. I'm just saying there are some reasons for it, and JMU, like any great team, has a couple good players at every level defensively.
James Madison.
Each and every one of us make a difference. It's what we do.
Howson, feet back to return around the 10-yard line. It'll bounce in the middle of the field and take a JMU roll to the 10-yard line, down at the 9. They're going to be backed up once again, so unless things change drastically in the final 3:57, the Dukes going to beat Delaware for the 5th time in a row. We'll take a timeout. Your last.
Each and every one of us make a difference. It's what we do, it's what we think, it's what we feel, and how we cooperate, not just with one another, but also with the people on the street, which are our customers, our bread and butter. We are giving service, but we're also giving a lot more, and we get a lot more. Treat others as you wish to be treated, and after a while, you're just rolling around up and down the street with your friends.
It's time to find your next Chevy truck and forge ahead. Take on new challenges and take it to the next level. It's the perfect time to do more in your next Chevy. Find new possibilities, find new roads. Very well qualified buyers can get 2.49% financing on all 2021 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab pickups, plus get $1,500 cash allowance. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Think premium can't be capable? Think again. Introducing the first ever AT4 lineup. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC.
Current eligible GMC owners get $2,500 purchase allowance on 2021 GMC Sierra Light Duty Crew Cab models when you finance through GM Financial.
First half was looking like it was going to go Delaware's way. They led 10-9 at the break. All James Madison in the second half, unless things change drastically, unless 3:57. Delaware going to fall to James Madison for the 5th time in a row. Nick, nobody's done that in this series.
Yeah, you just mentioned it, Scott. JMU, they won the last 4 since 2015, 3 regular season wins, then that playoff win back in 2018. But no team has won more than 4 in a row in the entire series. Delaware had won 4 back from 95 to 98, and obviously JMU looking to do that here today, and maybe the last time that these two teams meet up.
That's right. Nick talked about it earlier. James Madison being reported that they'll be moving to the Sun Belt Conference in FBS football after being one of the most dominant teams in FCS over certainly the last decade or so. Perhaps making the jump with Old Dominion and Marshall to the Sun Belt. Nothing official yet, but this could be, as Nick alluded to, the final time these two teams get together in a rivalry matchup. These two teams met last time in the playoffs in 2018 in Harrisonburg, and James Madison won that one. Obviously, this one could be their 5th in a row. Drive will start with Zach Wynn scrambling to the 10-yard line, sliding at the 13. Smart play by Zach Wynn. We saw how the game ended a week ago for Zach, getting hit on a scramble just like that at Stony Brook. So that time he protects himself and makes it 2nd down and 7.
That's the maturity of a quarterback. I'm learning to do that, get right up, get us back into the next play, not take a big hit.
a whistle prior to the snap. And it looked like some movement. Oh, they were going to call a penalty against Delaware, and then the back judge came sprinting up. Jeffrey Muha maybe saw something differently. Conversation being had by he and Hank Johns. So he was in motion for the penalty to go against Delaware, and then the back judge came sprinting up.
Offense, number 77, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
And it's hard as the center to be in that situation. I think he just kind of looked like he flinched as he was getting ready to snap the ball.
He did. That's James Princeton, of course. Delaware playing without their starting center for the second straight week. Mickey Henry's missed more time than that this year. Snaps have been on point, though, to Zach Gwynn. He throws to Jordan Towson, and Towson lost track of that one, but kind of just flailed his arms in the air as it went out of bounds at the 20-yard line. I don't know if it was catchable anyway, but Zach Gwynn is now 6 of 20.
Good pressure there by the defensive end, Bryce Carter, that we talked about earlier, the Towson transfer coming from his left defensive end position. He was really in Zach's vision. I'm not sure Zach even saw exactly where Gene Coleman was.
3rd down and 12 for Delaware at their own 7-yard line. Pocket collapsing. Gwynn trying to run out of pressure, and he runs out of time at the 5-yard line. Dropped again, and Delaware continues to move backwards. 25 total yards of offense in the second half.
Well, that was Carter again, retracing, going over the top and then coming back downhill. But let's give that sack a credit to the defensive backfield, who had excellent coverage, nowhere to go with it. All Zach could do was tuck it and try to escape the pocket.
Delaware's drives, 3 plays 3, 3 plays minus 3, 3 plays 9, 2 plays minus 3, 3 plays minus 3, 3 plays 8, 2 plays 23, 3 plays minus 4. Pastula gets the punt off. James Madison will let it roll. And it'll be down at the 45-yard line in James Madison territory. 2:41 left in this one, and James Madison on their way to a win on the road.
Well, they've been very formidable here this afternoon. Delaware hung in there with some great resilient defense in the first half, the field goals, the fact that we had the lead at halftime, and then it's a little bit different team, I think, kind of got JMU's defensive attention. They applied a little bit more pressure. They seemed to crowd the box more, and their coverage improved in the back end.
So the Dukes will come back out on offense, just trying to run this clock down. They'll give to Lorenzo Bryant running hard to the right side. You know, I saw his name. I said, where have I seen that guy before? I looked up, obviously, a Rhode Island transfer, 7th-year senior. He's run for over 1,000 yards.
Can you explain that to me, 7th-year senior, Scott?
Well,
that sounds like a pretty good deal if you can get it.
I think so. Yeah, there's got to be some injuries thrown in the mix, so maybe you sit out for a year for transfer.
It's only his second carry on the afternoon.
You get the COVID rules, and you know, like I said, hopefully he's Dr. Bryant by the end of the season.
I guess my question is, does he get another year? Does he have another year coming?
I don't know. If he does, that's 2 full careers of 4 years apiece if he can get back and become an 8th-year senior. We'll find out next year, I suppose. I think we're going to get a lot of roster surprises next season when we say, oh, this guy's back, as Bryant runs for first down yardage to the 42. And James Madison again, just trying to burn the final 149 of this one. There's going to be a timeout taken by Delaware, and Delaware would like to...
First time out of the half. Delaware, 30 seconds.
Try to get the football back and see if you can put anything together that would resemble a positivity on the offense, because that hasn't been the case for Delaware. 109 total yards for the Hens. James Madison just got over 301, but like I said, you want to play balanced football, and Delaware just has not been able to do that. James Madison being held about 150 yards shy of what they average. 38 points is what they average per game. Although as of late hasn't been putting up as many points in the CAA, but you know, James Madison has been given some short fields. Delaware has stopped them defensively, holding them to field goals. Racky has 5 of them. He did things defensively where you could have been in the game here, and then just unfortunately Delaware unable to do so on the other side of things. To the 40-yard line goes Lorenzo Bryant. We'll see if Delaware uses another timeout. I believe they will. They've got
second
one
charge,
more.
timeout of the half. Delaware, 30 seconds.
Reminder to our listeners that Concord Pet Foods and Supply started 40 years ago on Concord Pike, celebrating 40 years in 2021 of being your hometown family-owned and operated pet store. Now up to 32 locations. There's bound to be one near you. Visit ConcordPetFoods.com. And Bill, what a difference it was half to half. Delaware led 10-9. You felt really good about being up on the 7th-ranked team of the country heading into the locker room. And Thyrick Pitts had been targeted a bunch of times. Hadn't been able to get many catches, the 1 for 28, but got a couple pass interference. You felt like that might be the way to get things moving in the second half as well. I don't know if he's been targeted, or he has been targeted, a couple overthrows, but certainly no catches in the second half for Thyrick Pitts. He extended his catch streak to 27, but 1 catch for 28 for one of the best targets in the CAA. Running hard, Lorenzen Bryant gets a first down. Gets the 22-yard line. Delaware might use their final timeout. If they do, after that, James Madison can take a couple knees and improve their record to 6-1 on the season.
Well, James Madison played this game very methodically. They won the time of possession. Their rush defense was superb, only allowing Delaware 24 rush yards. And as we talked about, one of the keys was somehow for Delaware to win the time of possession battle, to keep this offense off the field. They eventually kind of worn down this defense, but it's been very resilient. And obviously their field goal kicker, Ethan Ratke, has had a lot to say about this afternoon.
Well, I got the player to watch right. Rarely do I give the
kicker. No, you were perfect, and Ryan Coe was terrific as well. He just didn't have the same amount of opportunities.
A knee for Cole Johnson. He'll have to do it again. Delaware going to drop to 3-4 on the season, losing 3 games in a row. Their other loss to FBS Rutgers. Now 2-3 in conference play. James Madison will improve to 6-1, 4-1 in the CAA. And if it's the last time James Madison comes to town, Delaware certainly would have wanted it to end a little bit differently. Losing now 5 in a row to their rival, James Madison Dukes. One more snap coming up for Cole Johnson. And this one now official as his knee hits the turf. James Madison spoils Delaware's homecoming weekend with a 22-10 victory over the Blue Hens. Bill, a tale of 2 halves. Delaware led 10-9 at the break, holding James Madison to 3 field goals to be exact, and then it was all JMU, half number 2, 22-10 the final.
Well, their special teams were solid. Their defense was outstanding overall, and they made an adjustment. They crowded the line. They made us one-dimensional. They started taking away Thyrick Pitts with some different coverage looks to try to take him out of the game, and they were able to get some substantial pressure on Zach Gwynn, and he really was never able to settle down back in the pocket. And when you do that, your offense gets off track. They are an excellent third down defense. Delaware 2 for 13 on third downs. They ran 78 plays. Delaware only ran 52. And that eventually takes its toll. But considering the injuries to Colby Reeder in particular, we don't have Drew Nichols, no Frank Burden again. I thought that defense, we ought to take a lot of positives from that. I thought it was a great, resilient effort. We withstood tremendous field position by a really good team, and were able to make them settle for field goals, took the lead at half. Sometimes the other guy's just a little better, and I think that's what happened here this afternoon. But there are some really good things to take defensively. We've got work to do offensively, of course. We've got to sharpen up and find some other ways to either protect Zach Gwynn or get this offense going, and I'm sure Jared Ambrose and his staff will really work hard this week to do that, and I'm going to look forward to seeing the adjustments that Delaware makes for Dixie State next week.
Delaware loses by a final score of 22-10. We say goodbye to our viewers on Flow Sports for post-game coverage, including analysis, stats, highlights, interviews, and more. We continue on 94.7 WDSD and iHeartRadio. Delaware again drops to 3.